editing day 5, I think, was the least fun I was having making the video after I got into the groove because it just
It's
kept
also
fucking going.
because also with day 5, like it was day 5 and 6 were also the times that I was like, I really miss my car. That's when homesickness was starting to get in because we got into the interstate, which by the way is like 90. And you would step on the car and it would just go,
Yeah.
you know, and your car would just go, you know, it's like at least my car would make a lot of noise and like try, you know, and be like, come on, little car. Where this is like, you know, with my
It's
car, it's
my
shit
car's
and
depressed.
slow, but my car would at least be like, all right, we're trying it, and it would now just this massive fart, and it would just try damn this, and you'd be proud, but this car was just like it's sad.
Yeah, this car is only
my car is
really
the
fun.
shit box. My car is the shit box. Your car's the sad box.
My car has like an engine built like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, where you're not even annoyed by it. You just feel sad for it.
Yeah. Double clutch, turbocharged.
But it worked. I'm just gonna say right now, it got us to A and B. All right. I don't want to hear any complaints.
No,
other than what we've already heard.
You ripped into my car because just like a month after this road trip when we got back.
You threw a belt.
I knew the belt was gonna throw. I knew that though. I would have had that addressed before going to the trip.
True. Still,
I wouldn't care if the belt threw in my neck of the woods because then I just park it, get it fixed. Yeah, you know. I knew I knew it was gonna be cheap.
Sides, like
it's a $70
sides, man. Like, let's be real here. If we're gonna put like 3,000 unnecessary miles on a vehicle, we might as well put it on the one that's newer, even if it is just sad to drive.
Yeah.
So
but Texas was when it felt the most sad.
Yeah, like let's watch. Let's endure.
Yesterday. Our first 2 restaurants for the day were Panera Bread and Panda Express.
I finished the orange chicken.
Yeah,
that's not fast food, is it? Well, we kind of looked at it and said that as long as they had a quick service mentality.
Okay, I pulled a sneaky on everybody here. I only showed the research for Panda Express. Panera Bread is listed as a fast casual restaurant, so it should not be on here.
No, I fought for that. I fought for fast food. I fought for Panda and Panera. I did.
No, Panda Express Panda Express. I think made the most sense out of the two, but like Panera Bread, like.
We both fought. I fought for it because I think what won out over Panera Bread for both of us was the fact that it was different enough, and it was fast enough.
Yeah.
And there was enough locations, and it had enough drive. Like it was close enough to the definition, even though it itself does not classify itself as what it is a cafe. All right, it's a cafe. It's more known for its breads and coffees.
It's a bakery, cafe.
We needed a break from the chicken and burgers.
Yes.
We needed every excuse that we needed.
Oh my God, yes.
We needed every excuse in the book to find a break from the chicken and burgers. And Panera Bread, God damn it, we were going to put it in there.
Yeah, and I'm glad we did because that tasted.
Same here.
Both of these tasted pretty good to our palates. Like I know people hate Panda Express.
And
I don't care.
I like Panda Express. Even now, I will regularly go to Panda Express still.
Oh wait, right. The fucking drive-thru was closed.
You should have given it a B for that.
Fantastic.
I did.
Both gave it S. As for Panda Express,
hold on.
I should have given it a B.
That's not fast food, is
it? A B, well, right?
We kind of looked.
Sorry, I thought you said a beat.
As long as they had a quick service mentality
well, I feel
and
stupid.
A drive-through, they fit the bill for fast food.
Oh, the drive-thru's closed.
It's the thought that counts. Really. The breakfast sandwich that we got at Panera Bread was fantastic. We both gave it S. As for Panda Express, we got the orange chicken and thought it was really good as well. I gave it an A. Jacob gave it an S.
You gave it an
A.
We both should have given a B.
The fact that these were different restaurants more so than they were fantastic restaurants that led to their high scores. Although that's not to say that they didn't have good tasting food, so I still think they're worth your time compared to other fast food places. Not a bad start to our day, honestly.
I forgot.
Like
Round up Ronald McDonald.
I look like shit.
We felt like shit.
No, because the shit continued for another month or two.
Right,
At this
that
point,
way.
though, we really needed to start hitting the road and get out of Texas. While day 6 didn't have as many stops as day 5, it
I
had
remember we
just
followed
as
that
many,
house for like
if
100
not
miles.
more miles for us to cover. And much like the eastern part of Texas, West Texas is very flat, very rural, and very boring. So if you're traveling around here, absolutely bring a fire playlist with you. I can't play any of it here.
So listen to that
obviously,
playlist sometimes.
but
I
if
bet.
you're interested, the link to our
I throw it on
Spotify
time to
playlist
time
is
as well.
Time
Yeah,
for more
it's
fried
great. It's
chicken.
fire playlist.
Not only is this our last stop
That's
on
the place that
campus,
opened up
it's
instead of
also the
churches.
last
I'm
fried
so
chicken
sorry to hear
joint
that.
we're gonna have. A
Hear me
fried
out.
chicken joint
I'll wait
that was
until we're
also
done it.
connected to a Subway restaurant, which probably makes now a good time to talk about that. If you were
Let's
wondering
wait. I
why
wanna
we
wait for the
haven't
ribbon.
done Subway up until this point, it's because we didn't define it as fast food. It may claim itself to be fast
Too
food,
much
but
lettuce?
honestly, I don't
Yeah.
like it. Top of that, it's
I
not that good.
have a story
so
about
even
Subway
if we did do it,
that pertains
it
to this.
really wouldn't make or break the road trip as far as we were
The
concerned.
Thursday
So,
before
if
the
you want it
road
on the
trip,
list,
I
there you
went
go.
to a Subway
Mm.
and I got the shits
Because of Subway.
because of Subway.
Yeah, no, it was going to be an F regardless. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
you know what my rule is about food? Fast food places giving me the shits?
F.
F.
Honestly,
Fazoli's? F. Subway? Also F.
like we could have done Subway. It wouldn't have been
real?
that hard, but like,
And we probably would have given it like if more realistically, a C or B. Because let's face it, Subway is okay. It's good. It's okay. But you gotta find a good location. Problem with Subways is
yeah, that's the
a lot of the
problem.
times the veggies, and you illustrated in the video, the veggies are often rotted. The meats are always cross-contaminated. And you're gonna get food poisoning. Like out of every single restaurant I've ever been to, I think Subway is the one that's given me the most food poisonings. Like most instances of food poisoning. And now I have like a list on my brain of which Subways to avoid because of that.
I just don't like Subway.
And a fast food place, and you shouldn't have to have that with a fast food place.
No.
You should. So that's why A&W is deserving of a D and C. Okay, like even now, even though I myself and an A&W stan, I would say actually it's probably more of a C, because it doesn't. The point of a fast food chain is you go in to know what you expect, regardless of the location. Subway, you can't do that. A&W can't do that. Dairy Queen, you can't do that, but that's almost a plus. But fuck it.
Yeah. I just, dude, I'll be honest. I have never particularly liked Subway. It's just they were one of the easiest restaurants you could just find.
You never went to a Subway in Whitewater on a Monday.
You're right. I don't. I haven't.
You know why?
Hmm.
Because your attitude would be way different. The Subways in Whitewater are actually decent, and they give you free chocolate chip cookies on Monday with your sandwich.
Oh, that's nice.
Sure is.
I mean, I get coupons for a Subway that's like within walking distance of my apartment now. So occasionally I'll go and grab like a foot-long sub, and then I'll just like part that out over a couple days. But they suck after a day.
They still are an F because
They still suck.
They still suck.
Yeah.
The $6 6-inch. That's a real kick to the teeth, man.
Yeah. I mean,
More
that
than
the
100%
$5 foot long was bankrupting the company. So like from a business perspective, I get it, but like,
But it put
fuck
them
off.
on the map. The
Yeah.
marketing was great.
Yeah, and
Everybody knows the $5 foot long commercial. That is vindictive.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's two things Subway had going for it. One of them's in jail, and one of them's got inflation killing it.
One of them's jail. The other one doesn't exist anymore. So fucking great.
F.
Yeah. So F. Yeah. Regardless, like I made up like some of the reasoning
Now, granted,
for the video.
I
It's
didn't
like
know
a joke,
about
but
this.
yeah.
I didn't know this joke was going to happen, but I full-heartedly agree. And I thought every single rip at Subway.
knew.
was
No, we
absolutely
talked
hilarious.
about that. No, we talked about this a
No.
lot during the trip because like people were like, "Are you gonna put Subway on the list?" And we're like, "Fuck no."
You know, we agreed it was going to be no. I didn't know you would put it actually on the list and rank it F for both of us.
I said yeah,
and I also didn't know
because I was like,
I
I was
also
tired
didn't
of
know you
hearing
were gonna
people
rip on it.
ask. I was tired of hearing people ask
I
about
didn't
it. So I'm
think
like,
you'd
if you
become
want
so
it,
irate about it,
if you want it on the
you would
damn
make it an
list,
inside joke.
here it is. Fuck this place. That's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. You know, fuck Subway.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Yeah.
And I agree with it.
Anyway,
Anyway,
church,
back to
Chester's?
Chester's.
Yeah.
which is
That's the one that opened
not
up.
all that crispy.
Yes. I'm
Nice.
sorry to
hot.
hear that.
This is very much
The
gas station
location
food.
I go
There's no
to.
way around it.
Yeah.
I know all the
This
people that
biscuit
work
doesn't look
at that
terrible,
Chester's, so they treat me nice and they make the food fresh for me.
Oh, they've seen the video then.
No.
You,
No,
yeah, you
That-
were having a fucking battle there.
I was. I was
Wow.
like, C,
not go well with that.
BD. I
I
don't
would say
know.
it's almost approaching a little bit too rubbery for my taste. And I would like to have it
Yeah.
where like this. I
Their
was hoping
biscuits
that
are
this would
fire.
just be crispy, but it's
They have a
Looks-
honey glazed biscuit
it looks
exactly
kind of
like
crispy
Church's.
right here. But let me tell you, it's not. Yeah, I'll try a little bit of this.
Biscuits are very good.
The biscuit helped.
Mm-hmm.
They have a chicken biscuit sandwich now.
See,
Damn. I was
That's
gonna
my
go see.
go-to for chicken
Yeah.
places.
it's alright.
I will go to the
It's
local
about- it's
Chester's
average.
and
I like
get
the
me a
chicken,
chicken
90
biscuit
fat
sandwich.
dressing.
Get
Oh,
me
yeah.
two
Okay.
chicken biscuit sandwiches.
You and I have.
No,
See, we both think
nothing
it's a
else,
C, but for
and a
entirely
soda.
different reasons.
That's it.
I
Because
can-
everything
eat
else
this,
is
though.
awful.
You can eat
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
I am not. I'm going to pass. You'll next see us in New
I felt
Mexico,
way better.
and I'm looking
the
forward
day
to getting to New
after.
Mexico. Roswell.
That'll be
Aliens.
fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Like
Yep,
I
you're
was,
Still have
right.
Rozzy the alien
Final
hanging on my
destination
car
for
mirror.
today was
we
Roswell,
do.
New
We got
Mexico.
Roswell.
But it wasn't just Roswell that Jacob was
Mug
excited
from
about.
Roswell.
He really wanted to go and see what it was like to be in a desert. And luckily,
Yeah.
New Mexico has an awful lot of that. Unfortunately, deserts
desert.
are boring, especially if you're driving
You
through.
were
But
so
amongst the
ecstatic, like,
areas
oh my
like
god, a
you
desert!
drive
And then I'm like,
through
this is a
by
desert.
Roswell, New Mexico.
Ain't fucking shit.
Home to a lot
Ain't nothing
of
out here.
alien-themed souvenir shops.
Still have the keychain hanging
Yeah,
on my
I won't
car
lie.
mirror.
Roswell is very much a self-aware and obnoxious kind of place.
Love that shirt.
But we loved it.
Love that
My
shirt.
family and
Dragon
friends are so
Roswell
glad I didn't buy that
was
shirt.
thematically coherent.
It's
and
all on brand
just
with
the
me,
right
but
amount of
I'm
cheese
glad I
My
didn't
friends
get
and
it.
family love the
we
fact that I
couldn't
bought
help
this
but
shirt.
fall in love with this town. But more on that later. For now, we have some food to review. We had 3 more stops planned for today.
I
before
love
we could
Wiener
really
Schnitzel.
enjoy the rest of Roswell.
That was so good.
Wiener
Mhm.
Schnitzel, Dairy Queen, and Wendy's. Of these 3,
This was
Wiener
a
Schnitzel
stacked
was the only one
end
that
of the
we'd never
day.
heard of before.
This was
So,
great.
Now
Yeah.
is going to be the time that we get first impressions.
Everything was
Oh
fantastic.
boy,
Everything
were
was
those
great.
first impressions
Well-
pretty bad.
Man,
That looked
Yeah, it
terrible
looks,
though.
looks like what's gonna come out of
but
my
the
asshole later.
taste.
Luckily, the hot dogs tasted
Looks
a
like
lot
what's
better
gonna
than
come
they
out of my
were.
asshole later.
Jacob
I love
and
that.
I
I
both
love that little
agreed
line
that
you
chili
got.
cheese dogs were good. However, we disagreed on the fries. See, I didn't
Nice.
really like them because I thought they were under-seasoned, a little cold, not really anything special.
Agreed.
Jacob thought they were as good, if not a little bit better than McDonald's fries.
Wait,
All this combined for me to give it a B.
I microwaved them for
and
17
Jacob
seconds.
to give it an A. Next up was Dairy
That's why I
Queen.
like the
Yeah.
fries,
This
because I
towering
reheated them,
mess
and they were still
of
fine.
a bacon cheeseburger. Getting a cross section of this thing was not very pleasant. But despite all these toppings, the burger itself was only okay, maybe slightly above
Yeah,
average at
it's a
best.
fucking mess.
I don't have much to say about this one. Thing is, I don't really hate it.
I don't go to Dairy Queen for the burgers anymore.
What's your kind of burger?
I don't go to Dairy Queen at all anymore.
Veggies are pretty good. You can taste
Really?
Yeah, because I'm on a diet, so I can't have
Definitely
blizzards.
above average.
And ice
We'll
cream.
get to that.
Fries are
We'll get to that.
palatable.
Yeah.
Always go for the custard. So it's a solid beat.
I said custard. I'm a Wisconsinite.
We don't have
I was
I
gonna.
know it's not custard. I know it's not. I'm from Wisconsin. We eat frozen custard, not ice cream. Okay.
Woo,
Except Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen still has ice cream. But
It's
God
still
damn it.
frozen treats. Okay, like people get the point, but that is really funny.
that many B tiers.
man, I'm
I'm glad
Wisconsinite.
that we have a B tier.
And last, but certainly not least, Wendy's.
Yeah, I think we were
This
just tired of handing out
admittedly
C's.
depressing
this point.
looking Baconator sandwich.
No, I do
For me,
think Dairy
I
Queen
did
deserves a B.
enjoy the burger and the fries, but I didn't really think that they were spectacular, so I only
I
gave
like
it a
Dairy.
B.
I like Wendy's.
Jacob, I think, was tapping into a lot more of his nostalgia about Wendy's.
I was
and
not.
decided to go with an S for not just
I
the
love
burger's
Wendy's.
quality, but all of the other stuff that he's had from Wendy's. in the
Yes,
past.
they have a lovely dreamsicle frosty right now.
Really good.
It's so
And the
good.
fries are always good.
I
The
eat it
fries
every.
are
I have the
always
frosty
good. I've
tag.
never had bad fries at Wendy's. The burgers, take it or leave it. I'm more of a chicken sandwich guy at Wendy's. So
And with those restaurants out of the
Nah,
way, we were done.
I
with
go
day
for a
6.
junior baconator now every time. That's
Yeah.
changed. I go for a Junior Baconator every time with a 4-piece chicken nugget or a 6-piece chicken nugget, depending on how hungry I am, and a Dreamsicle Frosty. That's my go-to for Wendy's. I get it like twice a month.
I think Wendy's is very
Look
similar
at that
to
McDonald's.
Yeah.
I wanted to eat there. We went to like
if we had
there was like
known
4 different novelty McDonald's that we drove through.
I know, right? But we got pictures of all of them.
Hell, we got pictures of all of them, but we should have eaten that all.
I
Here's the
agree.
thing. I've been to a novelty McDonald's before. There is one not far from you or hometown. There is an old school, like retro styled McDonald's.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah.
It's just McDonald's, dude.
Yeah. I know.
It doesn't make a difference.
That's
if we
why.
would've eaten
Yeah.
there, it wouldn't have made a fucking difference.
Yeah. But yeah. So we were done with work. Now it's time
But
for
I
us
had
to
a play
play.
place.
They do have a
Yeah.
play place. That's what we
a
should have
rare
done.
night breed.
We should have went there like right before they closed and be like, hey, can we go in the play place?
No, I think
We would have gotten arrested if we tried that.
No. I wouldn't have asked.
You would have
I'm
just done it.
small enough. I'm small enough where they would just roll their eyes and like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Spent most of that night
Probably.
just driving around, exploring the last few sites to see in Roswell. I think at this point,
It was-
I love
that was
Roswell.
fun.
In just how insane.
I
this
like
whole road
Roswell.
trip
I
was.
like. You could
mean,
spend
2 days
a day
before
there.
this-
Though. It's not like a multi-day trip. It's
No.
a day.
They know what they are. They're very much you're passing through onto other places kind of deal. But in addition to it being just really
Where
fun,
do you come from and where do you go? Because Roswell is like one of the biggest towns within 200 miles each direction.
yeah, New Mexico I think has a lot of
Got-
beautiful
They got
places,
shit.
but not that part of New Mexico. That part of New
No.
Mexico, you kind of have to make your own fun.
That down. Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
And Roswell is the own fun.
yeah. But hold on, I'm gonna let this play out, then I'll talk about this for a second.
We were
Go for it.
enjoying
Let it
ourselves
play out
on Bourbon
through
Street in
when
New
we get back to
Orleans,
Colorado.
And 2 days before that, we were walking around Chicago
That was
to find
wild.
the Portillo's.
Yeah.
All because we wanted to make a tier list about
That was
fast
wild.
food.
You know,
I
I'll
guess
just bring that up in the
sometimes
so many
postmortem. I'll bring that up
Yeah.
when we're done.
Can end up making some of the best memories. But we weren't quite done with this road trip yet. The morning of day 7 might have been a
With
little
the shirt
dreary
so
and cold.
bloated
For us, we
and
were
dead
very
inside.
For the majority of this road trip, I've been skipping over a lot of
Oh,
the
dude, this
drive
day was
because where we were going.
this day was
very
miserable
dull
at the
and
start.
Not all that interesting. to
And
look
miserable,
at.
yeah, but it ended on a good note.
Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner.
However,
We
our
were-
morning
we were
drive
not
through
doing
New
great.
Mexico was
Hmm.
fantastic.
Sandy was slipping.
It's where you start to get those really long stretches of desert landscape.
Oh, it's still
broken
so
up by
beautiful.
those red rocky mesas.
It is. I loved
It's
it.
no Monument Valley, but it's beautiful.
I
in
would
its
totally
own
move
way.
to Santa Fe or
Eventually,
Roswell.
though, we had to peel
If
our
I had
eyes
money,
away
no
from
object,
the
if I had stupid
landscape
money,
and
I would
pull into
retire
Santa
there.
Fe for our
Mm.
first stop of the day. I'm willing to bet that most people only know about Hardee's and Carl's Jr. because of the old raunchy ads they used to have on TV all the time. Where you're
I
There
didn't
were
even know about
so
these ads.
selling
there were
our
so many of
burgers,
them. I don't know how
I
you didn't know
even
about
know
them.
about these.
But for our purpose,
Probably 'cause it was on
talking
late
about the
nights.
burgers
I
for
don't-
today.
I don't
went
think
with the
so.
typical American style cheeseburger. Jacob
I
went
love
with
Hard-
more of a
Hardee's good.
Texas barbecue bacon
Yeah.
burger.
I
did.
still go to Hardee's and
Even
Carl's
with the
Jr.
lack
now.
of sexy supermodels
Same here.
around, we still thought these were fantastic burgers. We both give it A. Having thoroughly enjoyed our lunch at Carl's Jr., we hit the road again. Our final destination for day 7 was Denver.
I definitely had a
Colorado.
vibe, didn't I?
And while
Yeah.
the drive
I definitely
was
had a
still
look.
beautiful as we approached the Colorado
It's not
border,
me now,
it
but
did
I
start
definitely
to
had
get
a
little
look back
damp.
then.
Mm.
That was the only time it
Welcome to
rained.
Colorado.
Woo! You're home?
It was just a sprinkle, that's it.
Yeah!
We're
Not
home.
quite. We're still 3 hours away.
Thank God, considering what happened after this.
Now for a pit stop.
Soon, yes, soon.
Dude, yeah, we really had to piss ourselves, huh?
Yeah, because we needed gas, and then
We were like on
we were
empty,
almost right there. Yeah,
and
Oh.
we were on full empty at the same time. It was
yeah,
bad.
full tank. Yeah, full tank, empty tank.
Empty gas.
Yeah, that was
Man. We were
that's
cutting the wire
basically
there.
it as far as the road. Like we have obviously a couple more spots, but that was the main bulk of the road trip right there. And
No, we still gotta get through fucking dealing with Danny, our friend Danny.
that's fair. Sorry,
And we also,
it's hitting me differently now that it's been like a year. But I think I'll talk about that once the video's over.
Yeah, you still got 14 minutes, man.
Yeah,
But
let's do
we
it.
weren't there just to see mountains. We had something else in mind.
It's my favorite
Now,
part of the video
Colorado
that
has no shortages
I
of
worked on.
national parks. But
This
the
is
most
probably the best
unique
one.
Has to
So
be the
happy that
Great
you
Sand Dunes National
told
Park.
us to go here.
Because it's almost like something out of a video game, where one moment you're driving through the mountains, and then the next
Literally
you're in the middle of a
within
desert.
a mile.
Yeah.
I half expected to find some kind of like desert temple out there to explore as a side quest. It was definitely worth the stop. However, I wouldn't recommend that anybody go in the middle of May or during the spring, because there's this
with
large
our
creek
shoes.
that can sometimes run through the outer perimeter of the sand dunes, and it'll just completely waterlog your shoes. So, yeah, maybe bring some flip-flops if you're going. Otherwise, just wait until summer. With our sandy side quest out of the way, it was time
Yeah,
for us to get back
we're
on
gonna
the
talk
road.
about that
The
face.
rest of day
Yeah.
7 for us was just getting out of
I
the
use that a lot. I got a lot
back
more
to
mileage out of that
civilization,
face than you might
which in
realize.
this case was
I
Colorado
know,
Springs,
but
where
I'm not
all we
proud of
had
that
to
face.
do was eat at 2 more restaurants.
There's a few faces
and
I'm
we were
not
done
proud
for
of.
the day. Those being Five Guys and
I'm-
Del Taco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the amount of grease on that bag.
Yeah, man. I'm looking
Oh
forward
yeah,
to
we
it.
just
Great
fast
info,
forward.
guys.
Yeah,
Price
just
is not
we're not
what-
even gonna bother to show you the inside of the restaurant. We got places
These
to
are
be.
the normal fries, just salt. They are known, renowned, and appreciated for their French fries.
I haven't been to Five Guys
These are
since.
souped up Wendy's fries. I'm not even kidding.
Haven't been
This is
since.
among one of my favorite French fries that we've
Same.
had so far. All right, now the reason why
It's
this
just
costs
too
$19,
expensive.
Agreed.
The burger. Oh no.
I'm gonna eat that French
Oh,
fry. It's
no.
too dirty.
Ooh, that's not the most photogenic burger we've seen so far.
This is why I like them. It's a messy burger, but you'll love to see it.
All right, here we go.
A tiny ass bite.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I just engulf an entire fry in one go.
Yeah. Look at your bite there.
That's not nice. That's Burger King stuff right there. It's a solid burger, right? But it's nothing special. And it's like,
Again, this is another one of our flaws. This was the only place we took
You don't
price
go to
into
Five
consideration.
Guys to get the burger. You go to
True.
Five Guys to get the burger your way. They do it a la carte style.
That is nice.
When you get a burger,
It is the
doesn't
biggest
come with
appeal.
condiments,
Here's the
but
thing.
all the condiments are
You know what I
free.
do
You
now?
can get any
I just
condiment
make that
you
at
want.
home.
This,
Yeah.
I get it with
Same.
one sauce.
The only thing I didn't get-
onions, and bacon and
I
cheese,
don't do
that's
raw
it.
onions. That's the only
That is
thing,
my-
because
that
raw
is
onions is
my
hard to
Five
keep in the
Guys
fridge for a
burger.
long time.
That is what I go for. I get it on special occasions when I feel like I want to splurge a little. It's really expensive,
Yeah.
Have
but
a
it's done
versus
the way I want it, much like a Subway or any kind of like a la carte style shop that does fast food. This is the only burger place that does that.
This is the first time I've ever enjoyed the fries more than the burger itself. And it's weird because I was just telling him that there's never a moment where I'm like, oh, French fries are the meal, unless you're like downing them in chili cheese. Do they do that at Five Guys or no?
Yes.
I got so obsessed with
I
chili
would go
cheese
there for
fries
the fries
midway through this for some
maybe
reason.
even closer to S tier,
Oh,
like
I know
high A.
why. Pause. I know why.
Go on.
I remember why. Do you remember why?
Oh wait, yeah. Wiener Schnitzel.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't shut about the Wiener Central chili.
Yeah, because the
Because you found out you could buy it in bulk.
yeah, because like the chili was the better
Did you
part of
buy
the
it?
meal. Yeah.
Have you bought it? A Wiener Schnitzel?
Dude, I haven't even seen a Wiener Schnitzel ever since we went to that one.
Honestly, yeah, that was like the one and done deal. Well, here's the thing. Remember, there was also supposed to be one in Wisconsin, and that closed.
Fair. There is
So I
one.
wonder if they were just on the decline.
There is one around here I've seen. It's one of the reasons why I did the research to figure out if they were like a drive-through road trip candidate or not. So I could probably find them, but like a lot of these restaurants, some of them are just not worth seeking out after the doing this,
No.
you know? And that's kind of one
Some
of them.
were.
When in
some
Rome,
were,
though.
like Wiener Schnitzel is one I've been kind of keeping on my radar.
Mm,
But there isn't one anywhere near me,
yeah.
like for hundreds of miles. Same thing with Jack in the Box, hundreds of miles. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Give this place a B.
I'm also gonna give it a B.
Milkshakes are pretty good.
Mhm.
But again,
Really
very
rich.
rich, very expensive. It's the kind of place you go to if you're hankering for something very specific, and you're willing to pay the price.
I still agree with
Five
that.
Guys definitely fumbled
Same.
the bag a little bit with the burger. But what about Del Taco?
But it
What's their
wasn't done
menu?
our way.
Well, actually, we had quite a bit to say while we were doing the review.
We were torn about Del
Problem
Taco.
is,
Dude,
didn't
we were
really have very
yapping.
good ways of expressing
Yapanese
our thoughts,
right
here.
So I think it's just best
It was
if
the
I
last day.
summarize it.
That's
from here.
why.
We both considered that
I had
this
to
was
justify
the
my
best
position on
Tex-Mex
this so
place that we had
badly.
had during the
'Cause,
entire
like, a
I
lot of-
don't think it's the
Not
best
that that
Tex-Mex.
was a particularly
I don't think
high
it is.
bar, but it was nice to finally get some decent Mexican food.
Yeah, I realized
disagree.
that after I
It was
assembled
a
everything, and I'm
little
like,
bit more
I
of a
don't want to
spicy
fix
kick
it.
to
I'm
them
so
than we were
sorry.
expecting. Now, I like some spice to my food.
This is like
Jacob is not
number
really
2 or
very
3.
spice tolerant,
Yeah,
so
it's
he didn't
better
really
than
enjoy
Taco
as
Bell.
much.
I still stand by that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a solid
It's better than
I
Taco
probably
Bell
wouldn't
and
give it an
Pollo
S
Loco.
now.
And that was pretty much
If I'm
it
being
for
real.
7. All we had to
You
do
were
now was just
wishy-washy.
get
I
back
had
to
to
my
push you
apartment.
for an S.
Yeah.
We made it back. I need to give him a bed.
What do you mean? It's right here.
And as great as it would be to
There
have
are
that
some
be the
instances.
finale,
There are some things
to
I
get back
do,
to my
little
apartment
things here and
then
there
just
that
spend a couple of
I
extra days
found about
chilling
my
out and
behavior
enjoying Denver.
from when I
We still
was
had
younger,
4
before my
restaurants to
egg
do
my
before
egg
we
cracked.
could actually
Yeah.
call it quits.
That was like,
But
oh,
that was
yeah,
gonna
no,
have
this
to
is
wait
more
until
obvious.
tomorrow.
Me laying down on the
All
floor
right, cool.
in that exact motion is one of those things
Hotel.
that's like, oh, a little more obvious than I thought.
Yeah. You're like, oh, how did I not see the signs?
That's
I-
one of the like
you-
very
yeah.
very subtle signs that
Yeah.
I may have been trans.
You
But-
feeling that way about that is very similar to how I feel about looking back on this for like
Oh my god.
needing to lose a lot of like needing to lose weight or get better with like eating habits and shit. Because damn, dude,
well,
I was fucking
we were
big back then.
Dude, I was
I was a
down.
lot bigger back then than I remember.
We'll talk about that at the end
Yeah,
because I think
2
we
more.
both have a lot to unpack.
absolutely.
We're
8
so
started with us
close.
getting
Yeah.
some
We have a lot to
much-needed
unpack,
rest
but we're
before
so
we
close.
got up and got out to a restaurant called Good Times. You don't know
Hey,
this
I
restaurant,
still
go
here.
Probably because it's
I still
had
go
a friend,
here.
I've got a
available
friend of
around
mine
Denver.
that's in your
Best way
neck
I
of the
can
woods
describe
right
it
now,
is
and I
this is
told him,
Colorado's
go to Good
version
Times.
of Culver's.
Hell yeah.
So you know it's gonna be good.
Oh, that's
Picture. I
great.
love that
How good
picture
is
so
that?
much.
Well, I thought the French fries
That needs to
were
be a
good
sticker.
because they
Ooh,
added
your
more
server or
my
seasoning
server?
than just
Yeah, I'll
salt
send you a
to them.
screenshot of it
And
later.
Jacob felt that they were the best fries he had during the entire
You don't have
trip.
the raw
My
asset?
burger had a
No, I
little
have the
bit
raw
too much
asset. What I'm
lettuce
saying is
on
like I
there,
have
but
to like
after all
export
the
it
other
as a
fast food we were
screenshot from
having,
Premiere.
I'll take a little roughage. And Jacob was extremely impressed by the cheese and beef on his
The
sliders.
Great Bambino.
Now originally
slider.
I was
Yep.
thinking about
I
just
still
giving
remember
this
the name of
place
the slider,
an
Great
A
Bambino
because
slider.
It was good, but nothing
The
necessarily
sauce was
spectacular.
fantastic.
But then
Burger
I
sauce they
tried
had
their
was great.
lemonades. And let me tell you, that
I'm
is
not
some of
from
the
Lon-
best strawberry lemonade I've ever had.
It's
immediately
still
got me
my
and Jacob on
favorite
the same
drink
page.
out of
We
all.
both
Like if
agreed
I'm
that
not
this
just
was
getting
X.
iced tea,
I'm
Sorry.
not sold on it.
if I'm not
I'm
getting
not
iced
sold on
tea
lemonade.
from a drive-through road trip or a drive-through road trip, if I'm not getting iced tea from a fast food place, like I want the lemonades and I want the sodas and shit. I want that to be like what those lemonades are from Good Times. It is just very tart and sour, and I love that about lemonade, and that's like the only place I've found that does it
Lemonade
right.
too. I like lemonade too, but the thing is, I usually make it myself, and I like it really sweet.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on lemonade, but I do love Good Times.
Yeah.
Like we both give it an S tier. Of course, I
Yeah.
would love Good Times.
And we didn't make the joke. We didn't make the obvious joke.
Nope.
We did not make the obvious joke that it was a good time. And we're still not going to make that joke.
Well, you just did, but we're gonna edit that part out now, aren't we?
Nah.
Come back a lot more since this is a little bit.
Nah, I'm lazy.
Too.
If
Right.
I ever come back and visit you,
We're going here.
Good Times is a good option.
And then we
You can
headed
even
back
tell
up
that
into
I'm
the
not that
mountains.
healthy.
Now, while I live in Colorado, that by
Same.
no means makes me an expert about what we should be
Just
going.
because I like you can see me
So things
fighting
like the sand
acid
dunes
reflex
was
and
actually
stuff like
Jacob's
that.
idea, as well as our next stop, Vail, Colorado. Specifically, he wanted to check out some of the museum stuff that was there. They have some indoor stuff, but also
You could have
an
been a little
entire
bit more
set
direct
of
about
log
that.
cabins donated to them by
What do you mean?
families who.
You could have been a little bit more direct. That it was my family that donated a cabin. That was the reason we were there, is to check
yeah.
out
No,
my
that's
family's
why we
cabin.
were there. You were not
I
100%
was 50-50.
sure. Yeah, you were 50-50 on that.
I didn't want it to be a whole spiel.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna make it part of
But
the
you
video, but
could've-
like I was like,
You
yeah,
could've-
it was
if-
your
if you
idea.
were gonna- here's
Your
the thing,
ideas
if
were
you
the
would've
best
made it part
ones.
of the video, I would have been okay with you saying, all right, hey, we want to check out his family's cabin. I would
Sure.
have been okay with you saying that.
Mhm.
And I'll say it right now because it's postmortem. Yeah, my family donated that cabin. I know my last name's spelt wrong, but people didn't know how to spell in 1887 or something like that. Like it's just how, like my family, my mom is the leading genealogist for the family. We were able to confirm that is my family's cabin.
Good.
And that town's historic society and my family have interacted a lot in the last like 20 years. We know that is not our property. It's not my family's property, but it's obviously the town's property. It's theirs. It was donated by my great aunt. I think it was. So yeah, no, like that's why we were there. It was so that, because every 10 to 15 years, my family wants to try and check in on the actual property and see how it's doing.
Yeah, and
I
Vail,
happen to be in town.
Vail, Colorado is very pretty and
very, very thin. The air, that is. I was hyperventilating the whole fucking time.
I see. Here's the thing. Like I
was struggling.
I live here, right? So obviously I'm more acclimated
Me
to
leaning
everything.
on the door is not a bit.
Yeah, you're like, that's not me posing. I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, it's funny.
Remember that?
I'm so sorry. I didn't.
Like,
you did not tell me any of this at the time.
I did. No. Before I left,
that.
I said, before we did the road trip, I said, hey, I have actually been to Colorado. I have gotten altitude sickness from Colorado. Because I was struggling with the altitude.
Huh.
I knew that would be a problem. I knew how to try and counteract it. And oh boy, did I try, and boy, did I not. But I didn't get altitude sickness, but I was still struggling a lot with thin air. Once we got back down to Denver, because this is pretty high up, once we get back down to Denver, it got a little better. But I swear, I did not get a nice big breath of fresh air until literally a few days later when I went back home.
That's fair. Dude, I'll be real with you. Like, my sister's had some problems when she's come to visit me. But it's not so much with like, it's not the thin air. She has issues with like her inner ear and like her ear's not popping correctly. So she feels unbalanced.
The balance I was able to handle. But you gotta drink a lot of water to do it. And I was drinking water all the time.
I moved here, man. I didn't feel any of the effects. It was
your
so
body
strange.
Got acclimated. Mine
no,
didn't.
like I went here as like I went here as just a vacation before moving, right? And
yeah, but this is my second time in that cabin.
I had no problems. It was weird. It was very strange.
You know what's funny? Is shortly after I got back from this trip, I found the photo of me, a much shorter version of me, standing exactly like that at the front door of that cabin. And the sign was different and everything. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh, some things never change, I guess.
From 15, it was literally, me and my family calculated, it was within a month of 15 years on the dot.
Wow.
Yeah, within a month, because it was a digital camera that had the stamp on the corner, and the date was about 15 years on the dot within a month. So I was literally literally almost exactly 15 years old, standing exactly like that in front of that exact cabin.
Well,
which is crazy.
Absolutely
crazy.
Regardless of why we went, it was a good pick. Like,
it was a lovely town.
Too often I was saying we should be doing something, like we should be trying to do more like interesting things while doing all this, and then we would just not do that for whatever reason. All the cool stuff you suggested.
No, I didn't. You suggested Roswell. You suggested New Orleans.
You suggested the McDonald's HQ. Let's talk about this here in a minute. We're almost done.
Used to live around there. You really get a sense.
We got to see our friend Danny again.
There at that time, where
a whole monologue for him.
Necessities became everyday challenges, and even small things were considered luxuries. But who cares about that?
Forgot about that part.
It's the 21st century. We're not worried about cholera and dysentery. All we're concerned about is whether or not these next two restaurants are good. Restaurants 43 and 44 on this trip were Boston Market and Taco John's.
Fucking Boston
Market.
Market
is 100% a fast casual.
Oh my god.
But you know what? Our friend Danny told
us
spectacular things about this place. So we decided to add it to the list and review it anyway.
That motherfucker.
Go to a Century.
It's only okay.
Go to a Century.
Like, it's essentially just a rotisserie chicken dinner that you can get in like 5-10 minutes. You're better off just going to the grocery store.
Agreed.
Okay, now that we have that out of
anyway, get that shit out of here.
Like Taco John's.
This is my favorite
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
We were trying the fried chicken tacos, and a beef burrito.
My friends, I hate my friends, my coworkers.
Here's the thing.
They knew I was doing this, and they said,
Here's the thing.
"We're taking you to Taco John." I was like, "No, I can't." They're like, "No, you don't get a choice in the matter."
It doesn't hit you.
Oh, no.
at all. It's got the flavor.
And
it's
like
nice,
2
but
weeks
it doesn't
before
hit
this, I was at Taco
It's
John's for the
spicy,
first
but it's
time.
spicy in the sense
So
that
this was my second time at Taco
it's
John's.
flavorful.
It's a very flavorful
Yeah.
place.
So I
I'm a
knew what
fan.
to expect going into this, but I
No,
didn't
no,
want to
I'm a
have to
fan.
know.
Yeah.
But I was so glad that I liked it, because otherwise, if I hated it, I wouldn't.
You would have
forgiven my
dreaded it the
coworkers.
whole time.
I would have,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have the heart to tell you because I know you didn't go either.
But it's still pretty good.
Oh yeah, that is something I forgot to mention during the video.
This was your
I'll bring-
first time,
It's
my
still
second time.
miles better
Yeah,
than
I'll bring that up in here in a
And
minute.
I honestly think, out of all the Mexican places we've been to,
I forgot
this is
that
my
I.
favorite.
Yeah, I forgot. I
See,
did that.
even I said it. It was my favorite.
Yeah, again, it was one of those things where I'm like,
Not quite Del
it's an
Taco,
acronym. It's
Pretty
just
damn good.
I was
Alright.
wrong in the edit.
Think about that Taco Bell. Look at that taco.
but a special guest, hopefully.
Yeah, that special guest would end up having his plans change. So
Danny!
it took
Guess
so
we'll have
long
finish
to do
on day
this
9.
to make this work. It took so long to make this work,
We
and I get
on
why,
his
but
ass.
still.
We
Anyway,
had
Majora's
to
Mask.
Have a... Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Finish your thought, and then the joke.
we had to literally plan a contingency in case he canceled on us. Because we did not trust him. Because it took him. Look at his smug little face.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
that he
he's taking us
canceled
for a fucking
He
ride
can't-
that
okay.
day.
He canceled on us 3 times prior. Originally, we were going to do this in New Orleans. New Orleans, we gave him the benefit of the doubt because we got in kind of late, and honestly, we took a little longer to get to the hotel than we thought because Popeyes. Truthfully,
True.
yeah, we were going to do it that day. We were going to lump it in with Checkers and Popeyes. I think we even selected a location. It was kind of out of the way. We were like, it's fast
It's
food
like
trucking.
it's better to do it before we park the car, and then like we were just fucking
But then
exhausted.
it just took forever to get through Popeyes.
Yep.
So we were like, Danny, we'll see you in Colorado. We'll do Arby's then.
Yeah.
And then we get to literally the first day when we go visit my family's cabin, and he cancels. Okay, whatever. He's got a busted up car. It's fine. Second day, cancels again. Third day, we had to wasn't it like 30 messages or something stupid like that was exchanged between you
We
and him?
were about to walk
throw
across
in
the
the towel.
street. We were about to walk across the street and go to fucking Arby's instead of just
Anyway.
waiting for this guy. And then he gets back
But
to us.
here's the reason why we fought so hard for this bastard to get to Arby's. Play the clip.
So, this man right here, we've had to reschedule for him 3 times so that we can pop his cherry today. We get to pop this boy's cherry.
Oh my god. Arby's. He's talking about Arby's.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been to Arby's yet. That's what he means by popping his cherry. Whew.
Yeah, that was a close one. But just who is this Danny guy anyway?
Yeah, I'm dying to know.
Obviously, this is the same guy that I pointed out on day 3 as being in our hotel room. But like, who is he to us?
He was not an
Why is he
escort.
here now? Like
Nope.
Jacob, Danny is one of my friends that I made when I was going to school in Wisconsin.
Go
However,
Warhawks.
I fell out of touch with a
Go
lot of my
Warhawks.
friends, including Jacob.
We bleed
because
purple.
I moved out of the state immediately after I graduated. I still kept up with Danny because for a while he lived in Illinois at the same time that I did. And by a weird twist of events, we both ended up moving.
Was
to
a really
Colorado
wacky
at the
twist of
same
events.
It
time
was.
and just
Oh my
continued
god.
to hang out
I'll
ever
talk about
since.
that here in a minute.
And then in 2021, he told me that Jacob was starting his Discord and that he wanted me to join. And so I did.
Hold on.
Which is where I talked to Jacob
know what I got
about
nearby?
this idea,
Hmm.
and he told me he
What do you got?
Recognize this thing? Okay, you won't.
Yeah,
but
I can't see your.
it's the stuffed squirrel.
Oh
It's the
shit!
pirate squirrel. It's the pirate
It's
squirrel.
the squirrel.
It's the squirrel from the Discord server. This is the logo. This is the icon. This has been the icon for the Squirrel Den for fucking
Yeah.
who knows how long. You know. So yeah, just right up
Yeah.
there on top of my monitor.
Oh yeah.
wanted to do it. So in a way, Danny's the whole reason this thing started. Now, we weren't able to coordinate having 3 people do the entire trip,
but we were able to convince him to come out and meet us in New Orleans.
He was so
that
sad
we
when
could
I had to
review
tell him
Arby's
that.
together. But it was just kind of out of the
couldn't.
way. And
I
New
know,
Orleans
man.
is
We
a
really
cool city
couldn't.
that we
He
wanted to
was
explore.
so flaky.
So we delayed it until we could be all in Colorado together. We already planned on hanging out after all. What's one more restaurant to do while we're in the state of Colorado?
Okay, so like I know we rip on this guy a lot.
He flakes a lot on plans.
Yes.
He is historically a major flaker. However, I'm going to defend him.
Same.
His car, a few weeks prior to this, was literally destroyed in a hailstorm.
Yep.
We saw it. We saw his
It was
car
so fucking-
destroyed.
it was so bad.
It was so bad. His car was the only one parked in the street during the storm. Like, there were really nice cars in that street. He lives in a pretty nice neighborhood. And the only car that got totaled was his.
It was bad. His sunroof got fucked up. He had a ton of dents. The rear
It was
hatch
bad.
got obliterated by the
It
hail.
looked like a
was
bunch
terrible.
of rednecks were taking shotgun shots from a hot air balloon above his car.
No, you know what it was? It was the mini game from Street Fighter 2 where you beat up the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just chose Danny's car.
Yeah. It was
bad.
And
It was
Danny-
so bad.
it actually took a little bit of convincing on our part to convince Danny to do New Orleans. Like, he was game to do the whole road trip.
Yeah.
The problem was he was really, really flaky because he's like, I don't know, guys. My car is, destroyed. Literally destroyed. I don't know if I have the money. I got to buy a brand new. He did buy a brand new car.
True.
A much nicer car.
Hmm.
And, he was being really flaky and wishy-washy, which he tends to be, but this time a little bit more so. And we're like, dude,
I thought we were
just
defending
sit
this
one
guy.
out. Just sit this one out. We'll see you in New Orleans. It's not a big deal, right? We get it. We understand that you're a little 50-50 on this. So we're like, just do New Orleans, man. And we'll see you in Colorado. But even when we got to Colorado, he was flaky.
Yeah.
Because he had reservations about us going to his neighborhood and picking him up.
The
and
guy
stuff. He didn't want to be a burden.
The guy is a little difficult to coordinate things with, yes. However, one of the things I appreciate about him as our friend is that he is very good at coming up with ideas to just do fun things when we're out and about. He's a lot more of an outgoing guy than both of us combined. And he was down to do the trip when I told him about it. It didn't really make any sense with all of our scheduling and like monetary considerations and stuff. So it turned into a me and Jayden trip pretty quickly into discussions, unfortunately. But again, as I pointed out in the video, like, this trip is because he got me back in touch with you. Because I was not talking to you until Danny was like, hey, I still talk to Jayden. Do you want to join their server? I'm like, yeah, I got some stuff going on right now, but you know what? That sounds like fun.
I actually mentioned you to Danny a few times. And he said, no, because there was a few people that I really wanted to invite to my Discord server. You were one of them.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people I thought about. But I'm like, I tried looking for the good Christian Discord server, and I'm like,
oh, that shit got nuked.
Where is it?
That shit got nuked from high orbit. Dude,
and I'm like, well,
I don't have a time
have
to explain that.
And I'm like, I have his phone number, but it's like, I don't know if it's active. He could have moved. He could have changed numbers.
That's fair.
So when Danny mentioned that you were both in Colorado, and then he sent you an invite to the Discord server, and then you joined at the most hilarious time ever.
I was having a rough go of my fucking life.
And I was having a great time in VR chat.
Yeah. And then oh man, we gotta talk about that conversation once we wrap the video up. But
I don't think it's worth talking about in this.
Well, no, like not that conversation. I meant more like the genesis point of the road trip video. But like let's
let's
get Arby's. Let's finish this bitch and then we'll do it.
Yeah.
And then Danny delayed it 2 more times. But it's fine. We're all here now, finishing this goddamn list.
It took so long. It took so long.
It took so long. It could have been done 2 days sooner, maybe even 3 days sooner.
It could have not happened at all, and we would have had a good time.
And our opinions were no different.
At good times.
Danny went with one of their new Wagyu burgers and thought it was pretty good, all things considered, and gave it a B.
Jacob went with the chicken sandwich and then also got a side order of these loaded ranch fries. He liked
They were
both
good fries.
and gave Arby's a solid B. I went with a normal beef and cheddar. Its presentation being about what I expect from Arby's. Yep. It had taken quite a bit to get to this one sandwich. 3,000 miles, 45 different restaurants.
I love
9
this
days.
outro.
Thank you. It was never about this sandwich, nor was it about any of the other food we had during the trip. This journey started as a way for us to set the record straight, to define what fast food was, and define the best and the worst in the United States. But in reality, all we did was just publicize our opinions. You can agree or disagree on any number of things we put on the list. In fact, I encourage you to do so. If that's still working, we should put that on the on this video as a result of this trip. Something that I can relate to you and tie this whole video together with. Something about the importance of your friends, or following your dreams, or never giving up on your goals. Something. For now, I've got nothing. I still don't. But I will say that that is one of the best tasting D-tier foods I've ever had.
I love that line.
It was, yeah, it was not worth our fucking time, but it doesn't matter. We're done.
Yeah, I love that line. I think we can end it there. Oh, I forgot there was a photo compilation.
Yeah.
And that's the corkboard aesthetic that I was like, okay.
I still have that corkboard. It's on my desk at work.
There's Danny's single orange.
Yeah.
That's it. We've done it. We've finally done it.
Finally?
We're so dead inside.
It would have been no sooner if you hadn't rescheduled us.
Yeah. All right, bro.
Danny's so happy. All right.
Man, so the corkboard aesthetic. The reason why I like the corkboard aesthetic is because we had a corkboard.
Yeah, literally, hold on. Yeah, this list, a lot of people were like, why is it so hard to read? Because the real list is even worse.
It's really hard to read. We both have a proper one that we posted to friends and family who were actually curious.
Yes.
Like we showed them, here's our list. Here's our actual opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how handy it's been.
Dude.
Like to have somebody from,
Agreed.
I've got friends on the East Coast who are like, hey, you ever been to this place? I'm like, actually
I have.
You know, to say that definitively, the thing is as well, like we've thought about doing a part 2, a follow-up for this, because
yes, Electric Boogaloo.
Because since then we've discovered 7 additional fast food chains that actually meet the same requirements that this one does.
Yeah, fuck.
7.
Fuck. I mean, like we could make that work, but like, God,
a year ago, 3 of them didn't even exist.
True. And then there's
fact,
also like
if we did the video now, Wiener Schnitzel wouldn't qualify anymore.
Nope.
Nor Crystal.
True.
Neither of them would have qualified, and we would have 3 or 4 others that were in route of the route we did that we could have hit up. 2 of which didn't exist. 2 of them didn't exist. It just didn't. One of them is Lane's. Lane's is one that literally it was only in Texas until like last year. And in the year it's been, it's now large enough to count. And there's a couple instances of that. There's even this great dumpling place out of New York City that has like 20 locations in each and every single major city.
Oh, I think I have heard of this place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a revival of an even older fast food chain than Big Boy and White Castles. It's a revival of an even older one that came about in the Great Depression. And it's like, what? They were dead. But there was a guy.
You're supposed to be dead.
but there was a guy that bought the rights to the last location that closed in the 90s. You know, did some stuff for like 5 or 10 years, and then reopened it, and has opened 24 locations in the last year and a half.
Hell yeah.
Didn't exist when we planned it. We planned this. Okay, let's talk about the genesis of this, right?
Yes.
You get in my Discord server. It's the day you get in my Discord server.
Hold on. Before, let's give him a time frame here. This is
2022.
2022. Okay.
This is June of 2022. Yes, I remember the month.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You had been pinging around this idea for 6 months to a year prior.
Yes.
But and you've been bouncing back and forth with the Laker friends and a couple other people.
Yep.
But it wasn't really getting traction until you hopped into my Discord server, and I said, "Hey, guess what I went to for the first time the other day? I went to a White Castle for the first time ever in 2022. Part of this thing I'm trying to do, where I want to go to every single fast food place in the United States by the time I die." I said that because every year I take a vacation, like a week-long vacation.
Yes.
And in 2022, I made a point of going to White Castles.
You weren't. Interesting point, but
I did, because I was at Six Flags. I was going to Six Flags that day, and there was White Castles down the road.
Yes.
So it was actually a notable stop I can make and go to.
Right. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that sounds a lot like this dumb idea I have where like we would go on this road trip to visit all of the fast food restaurants that had drive-thrus and make a tier list. But, you know, nobody's stupid enough to do that.
It's not a big deal. I've only spent like 6 months on it and already made a pretty decent-sized spreadsheet. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm in. I didn't even ask any more questions.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
And we spent till like, you hopped in at like 10 p.m. or something like that. And we were up till like 4 a.m.
Yes.
And I remember getting off the Discord call and going out of my room and talking to my mom and be like, "Hey, Mom, I got my vacation plan for next year already." It's like, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah, all my family and friends.
She had no idea.
Here's the thing, right? Nobody bothered telling us not to do it.
Yeah, no, like we hold on. I'll find the sticky note that I made for the intro. Where is it? Yeah. This is a stupid idea, but we did it anyway. You could put a secondary. Bothered. Yeah. And nobody told us not to. That's
nobody
the
talked
final.
Us down.
Yeah.
No one talked us down. In fact, people encouraged it.
Yeah.
The only person that attempted to
talk
said
it why?
Was my dad and my mom, because they're like worried that we didn't plan far enough ahead. But I think part of the reason why I agreed to do it personally was because my Wisconsin accent was getting a little too thick for my liking.
Same, gal. Same. I feel that.
You know?
I feel that. I visit my folks every now and again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, do we all sound like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it turns out we do.
You know, and I was like, because I saw a YouTube, I made a short of me feeding my cat, and I said snack. Just the word snack.
Snack.
And even snack. You know, it's like even me saying snack, it still makes me cringe when I say it like that, because it is the most Wisconsin. That's the word that has the strongest accent that I can pick up on.
Yeah.
And when I hear myself saying it back, a part of me dies inside.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah,
man.
Same.
And I'm like, man, I need to get out more, because you guys are already encouraging me. For like, even before we started discussing the fast food road trip, like even when we were discussing it, you were saying, "Girl, you need to get out more."
Yep.
Like you don't travel. Turned out during the fast food road trip, I was the most traveled of all of us.
Yeah. That was a happy accident. Like you'd been in quite a few places that I've
been to New Orleans
that I've never been.
And I've been to Chicago, Nashville, New Orleans, and Colorado.
Yeah.
The only place I didn't go to was Texas. I had never been to the deep Southwest. I never been to the Texas or the Southwest.
Yeah. Turns out you love it down there.
And I love it down there. Yeah. I do. You know, hate Texas. Texas is gonna fuck itself. But.
Fuck yeah, no, not that part of the Southwest.
But New Mexico, and I'd love to go to Arizona because I hear Arizona is just New Mexico but better. So
yeah,
love to go to New
it
Mexico.
has a
Yeah,
lot to offer in terms of like the same beautiful like
would love to
landscapes and
check out
skylines and
Nevada.
stuff.
Love to check Arizona. Love to check out New Mexico again because we missed the Trinity bomb test site.
Hey,
like,
I am
there's
so
things-
sorry that we were so damn close.
It was
and we
closed that
couldn't,
day.
and we just didn't know.
It was closed that day. It's only open like 2 days a year, and you have to book well in
Oh,
advance.
okay. Yeah, that would not have worked anyway. Damn.
No, the only way it would
Okay.
have worked is if we literally coordinated around that as a focal point, and we were having a hard enough time
Fuck
planning
that.
around Danny as a focal point, let alone that. Okay,
That's true.
There's no way we're gonna plan around two
That's
different
true.
focal points.
Yeah, and
We
it
couldn't
probably
even
would have
do
been
one.
better. Probably would have been better if we started in Colorado and then dive down there because we could get there in like 2 days.
Well, we
Not
talked
even.
about that.
Yeah,
We
but
talked about that. We
Yeah.
explored that option up until like 3 months in advance of you flying out to me or I fly out to you and then doing it backwards. We've talked about doing the boot backwards. We thought about doing it backwards to even see if we can get a couple more fast food places squeezed out of that
yes, we did.
damn rock.
It's true.
Because there was
true.
one in Oregon, in like Oregon. I almost said Oregon,
Thank
like
you.
Wisconsin. I said
Yep.
Oregon. There was one in Oregon called Arctic Circle, which was only about like 6 or 7 hours away from you. I think it was,
No.
or something like that. I don't remember. I remember it.
It's
being,
not if no. Oregon is not 6 or 7 hours. It was in like
Was
I
it
think-
Wyoming then?
I think it was in Nevada or Arizona. Like it was in some of those areas.
Arctic Circle. If you know where Arctic Circle is, you already know it's a West Coast thing. Its headquarters is like in Oregon or Wyoming or Washington or Portland or something like that. Or but it's kind of northeast. It's kind of like far northwestern, moving to southwestern, but it hasn't made it much past Wyoming in terms of going.
It
east.
hasn't crossed the Rockies yet, so I didn't have it over here. So
You would have had to cross the Rockies.
we'll have to try that out at some time.
But the
in
issue
the sequel,
is,
maybe.
like, we thought about going there, seeing if we could. We tried so hard to get it squeezed in, but it was literally a day out of the way.
2
the only way
days.
we could've
It'd be
did it-
2 days because we would have to like drive there and
Yeah.
then spend another day driving down. And I'm like, we don't have we have the
Basically,
time, but I
it
don't think we
was-
have the willpower.
Basically, it was that or no. It was either that or New Orleans. What do you think we chose?
And we chose New Orleans.
Because
Good
remember,
choice.
because the thing is, the original. I remember the original route still. Do you remember the original route? Because the original route was way more ambitious.
I remember that you said that we would be fine to drive all the way to Nashville on the first day. And I was like, at
Do
first,
you remember
agreeing
what
with
you said
you.
for the second day on that route?
Yeah, Nashville to
Memphis.
oh yeah. Yeah.
You wanted.
Yeah, I
do.
wanted to skip. I
You
wanted to have like
wanted
a
to
day break where it's not hard for us to drive to the next spot.
You
It's
wanted
just
to do Chicago. This was the original route. Chicago to Nashville to Memphis to New Orleans to Dallas Fort Worth to Albuquerque to somewhere in the bumfuck west to get Arctic Circle back to Colorado.
yeah.
That was the original
Phoenix.
route.
I think it was Phoenix.
It was Phoenix. No. It was not Phoenix, Arizona. It was Albuquerque, New Mexico.
No, but like I'm saying, if we were gonna
Did
do,
we say Phoenix?
I think we put Phoenix on there.
Did we say Albuquerque, then Phoenix, then Colorado?
Yep.
Wow, we were stupid.
Damn right. Like first of all, driving from fucking like basically middle of Wisconsin down to Tennessee is doable if you're not filming something
The
and
only
stopping in
way-
Chicago.
The only way you could get 100% is if you add 2 tumors to what we did. One
Yeah.
tumor loop would have to be East Coast. So you'd have to go from, instead of going from Chicago to Nashville like we did, you would have to go straight east
Yep.
through Cleveland and Pennsylvania to New York. You would literally need to go to New York City. Because there are a couple of places that qualify that are only in the tri-state area.
Yep.
But they have enough of them, and they're in 3 different states. That was, the limit was like around 50 to 100. We were pretty loose about that. But it had to be in 3 different states. And there was one that was literally on the tri-state area, which is really, really cheaty because it's like Portillo's is cheating because Portillo's
Yeah.
did cheat. We cheated with Portillo's, but we would have cheated even
We
more.
cheated with a lot of fucking places.
We
man.
cheated with Portillo's, but Rory Rogers was cheating extra hard because it was all the locations are within 10 miles of each other, but they're in 3 different states.
Yeah, because they're fucking right there on the
New York
goddamn
City,
border.
Because New York City isn't just New York City. You've also got Jersey, and you also got Pennsylvania. And Rory Rogers was only in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, but they were all within about a 100-mile radius of each other.
Yeah.
Within the greater New York City tri-state area.
So we were not going to reach them unless we went all the way over there, and we didn't have 3 weeks to do this.
There were like two or three in that New England area, like New England and tri-state area, where you literally need to do that and then circle back around through the Appalachians twice.
We would be doing the route that Eddie and Ted did to go to the rainforest cafes. That's the route we would have had to do, is go coast to coast and then just do a big loop. And we did not have the time for that.
And the other tumor would have been what you described. We would have had to do Las Vegas, Albuquerque, and Phoenix.
Hey, I was down to do Las Vegas. I might do Vegas soon. Not for a video, but like just in general.
You mentioned that. You mentioned that. So we figured we can get all but like 2 or 3 in about just under 3,000 miles, which we thought was a really good benchmark.
I think what we did already was more than we should have done, because there was a lot of places that if you just did a little bit more research, you could probably find like one-off locations of like places that only exist in like the southeast or southwest, if you just go to like New York or something, but that wasn't fun.
We did miss a couple hymndingers. There was one that we missed a hymndinger for, and I did write it down, but I don't remember. Hold on. It's a custard place out of Oklahoma.
Hymndingers?
Custard. You never heard that?
No. Well, not from you, at least. What the hell is that?
Custard. Okay, so it's a frozen custard chain, Oklahoma.
In any case, there was a lot more we could have done in terms of just the routing, right? Let's talk about what we did do and how we feel about that as an accomplishment.
Brums.
That's what it's called? Brums?
BRAUM. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to invest.
Because we already did. They are in 3 states, and they did have enough locations, and they are only in the central United States. They're in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Okay. And we drove right by one.
Yeah.
And we could have hit it up, and Davis, our friend Davis, the minister of our Discord server, he got my case about not going there. And I'm like, you didn't go to Brums. I'm like, you never suggested. Like, I did too. You just ignored me. I'm like, well, that sounds about right. And I felt bad.
It was like, dude, you weren't there, Davis. You weren't on this trip. We were basically like so fucking happy. Anyway, he wasn't like. And this is off topic, because what we're talking about the stuff that we could have done. I want to talk about the stuff that we did do a little bit more.
Right.
Because there's something that hit me after watching this again that I didn't quite feel the words for when we first did it. This was not...
Go on.
This was like a... we say it was a stupid idea. We did it anyway. Nobody told us no. It was a bucket list item for both of us. I always looked at this as a idea worth doing only if we were going to record it. Like, there was no other reason to do this if we weren't going to make a video out of it. But now I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a fucking time capsule. All videos All videos are, but like,
it really is.
This is a time capsule for us.
Not just you and me personally, but for the state of fast food as we know it.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned this. I know you said, "Oh, let's talk about what we did." Like, okay, yeah, let's do that. But there's also things on the route that we did that didn't exist.
True.
In 21 and 22. It didn't. When we did the research in 21, 22, 23, those places didn't qualify. Now they do.
Mm-hmm.
There's even a local chicken place here in Janesville that would now qualify that didn't a year ago. And it's only because in the last year there was growth. But then the inverse also happened. Again, you're not gonna, if you try doing this again with the same parameters that we operated on, Crystals isn't gonna make the cut. And if it does, holy shit, how? I would recommend going to the one in New Orleans.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
Go to the one in New Orleans, because then you can get a daiquiri.
No.
They had a daiquiri slushy machine inside the Crystals in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. So just go to that one if you want to hit up Crystals. Because you know that one's going to probably still be open. Because daiquiris. And then the other one that we know probably won't make the cut anymore is Wiener Schnitzel.
Probably. Probably.
It's not, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not, because remember, there was one in Wisconsin. It's now closed. They're closing more locations than they're opening. They're on the decline, and they were already cutting it close when we went.
Yeah.
So Crystals and Wiener Schnitzel were both kind of cutting it close. We were like, oh, God, we hope we can find one. We have a couple locations in mind. But it was getting kind of close for those guys. And now there's no telling. Big Boy. Even Big Boy.
Yeah,
Big
surprised
Boy
that
didn't make that. Only made the cut, not because there was more than 100 of them in the United States and 3 different states, because there wasn't. Because there was like 100 of them in Japan. They were all over Japan.
Here's the thing. It didn't make the list. We were like, this does not exist anymore.
It didn't.
In the U.S. So we're
we
like, nah, don't even look. Don't even look.
One.
And then we just find it. Like, that's the serendipity of doing stuff like this. Like, it's...
English Chicken Express.
Yeah, that one. That one's the inverse of serendipity. That one is depression.
We didn't give Big Boy a high rating either, though.
No, Big Boys was
That being said,
okay, I get why this is kind of gone now. We just needed to confirm that. That's all it was.
But they are growing, not shrinking.
True.
So Big Boys may qualify even more so now than they did when we did it. So, again, it is a time. That kind of video project was a time capsule for me because that was like the last major thing I did as my dead name and dead pronouns.
As Jacob. Yep.
Yep. That was like, well, that and season 1 of Chris's Classic Cinema. Go ahead and watch that on WLOO CATV on YouTube. You can
see the first. You can see the first one on her channel.
Yeah, I've got the first episode uploaded on my channel. I might make a playlist to kind of see if you can find it more easily. But that was like those 2 projects were the last kind of 2 things I did as Jacob the male. Because I look at that video and I go, ew. Wow, I'm like,
oh God,
so like it's that is literally the eve of me figuring out that I'm trans. Literally the eve of me figuring out that I'm trans.
Yeah. Originally we were going to be doing this as like a tag team project for we do the actual road trip and then we like tag team the video.
And then I had a mental epiphany that needed a lot of time to work through.
Yep. And I was I was hopefully understanding of that. I hope you think.
Were.
Okay.
You were. But it was also funny the way you found out. Do you remember how you found out?
I remember. I was like, we were asking each other like hypotheticals, and I was like,
it wasn't. We were all. It was like the first thing you said. I was having gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Particularly bad one night, and I was just barely starting to get over it, and this was going on off and on for a few weeks. Actually, for almost a month at this point. And this was literally a month after the Fast Food Road Trip. I'm talking like there was a couple weeks before gender dysphoria started getting really bad. And you hop in the call. First thing out of your mouth is, so y'all ever thought about what it's like to be a girl?
No, I said every guy at some point has thought of that before. Just as every guy has tried to suck his own dick before.
And just as like, and when that happened, I was like,
Yeah.
I just had a full mental breakdown.
You're like, not again.
Yeah, our friend Danny had to pull you into a different voice call.
I was like, what did I do? What I do?
and I was like giggling my ass off because that was the funniest thing.
Lost your shit.
Because I'm like, I lost my shit laughing my ass off because like your timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
That was like the worst question you could have possibly asked at the worst possible time. Like, God couldn't have planned that any worse than you did.
Yeah. So,
and like, I even had other people that don't join the call that frequently pop in randomly and going, "What are we giggling about?" And then it just accelerated and made it 10 times worse than that. And I'm like, wow. That was I wish I recorded it.
That was not my best moment, but it was really fucking funny.
And I know some people are probably going to wonder, okay, why didn't you go back and edit it? Dude, guys, my egg cracked in August. The video was like a third of the way done in August.
Hey, I put the disclaimer. Hold on, I can find the disclaimer. I put the disclaimer there.
The disclaimer was there because James did ask me, hey, we could redo all this. It's gonna be a lot of time. What are you feeling? And this was really early on when I'm transitioning. And I said, life's too short to be offended about dead names and pronouns. This project was filmed like at a time in my life where I was literally on the eve of me figuring things out. I didn't know any better at that time, so why should I have to punish people around me for figuring stuff out, right? Like, so I was not offended about my dead name being used. I was not offended about my dead pronouns being used in the video.
Yep.
So long as that and the first season of Chris's Classic Cinema was the last vestiges of that. And they are.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, because look at that. That's gross, dude. My hair, I listen, in that photo, like I kid you not.
It was windy. To be completely fair to your past self, it was a windy ass day.
I had not brushed my hair in months. In that photo.
Girl, no.
Yeah,
Girl, what the fuck?
At that time, I did not care about how my hair looked. At that time, I didn't care if I had a little scruff. I didn't. I had no sense of self-preservation at all. I mean, at that time, I was also drinking 6 cans of soda a day. A day, on average. Like, James can attest this. I was putting away the soda.
Yeah,
like, every fast food joint we stopped at, I got a soda.
Yeah, I'd order a drink, you'd get the drink, I would just have water the whole time.
And it was empty, and I didn't get ice, so it wasn't watered down either.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was putting away, like, at that time, I was always saying that my two last problems with my diet was fast food, as it was with you, because you and I both wanted to do this as kind of an exposure therapy of sorts.
Sure.
Try and keep the fast food bug. And to also higher our standards. Didn't work because we're both still addicted to fast food, but our standards are a lot higher for what we go to. We don't go to Taco Bell anymore.
I wouldn't say that I am addicted to fast food.
I was.
I really wasn't. I wasn't really going to fast food much before this trip. Like,
I was addicted to soda and I was addicted to fast food.
Yeah, like I needed to do this so that way I could like just get it off my plate as a project, but also like I was genuinely curious. Like, I've heard good things about these places and I've never been there.
Right.
And I've heard terrible things about these places and I don't really care to go there. So like we should see all of them and make our choices more informed.
Now granted, in that instance, in that video, I wasn't unhealthy.
Sure.
Like by any stretch of the imagination. But one of the other reasons that you and I did this video was because how long was it going to be before our bodies decided that one chocolate bar was going to be 20 pounds? Right? Like, how long, like, we did it mainly because we could. Not just because we financially could and that we physically could. It was because our bodies were able to bounce back kind of okay from it.
Dude,
and we were both in our mid to late 20s at the time. Now, I know, James. I know.
Yeah, you
Go
bring
on.
this up where it's like, yeah, that you felt that you were not in a good spot in terms of like your mental health and you weren't taking care of
Right.
yourself and stuff like that.
Right.
Mentally speaking, I was at a pretty low point when I first started planning this, but then it
Yeah.
got better, and doing it I think really helped me with like realizing like, oh,
Oh.
I can actually do these cool projects, and even if it doesn't really turn out exactly the way I want it, that's fine. But physically, I was the largest I'd ever been in my life, and
Yeah.
a couple months of working on the
Same here.
video, a couple months of
Oh, same
working
here.
on the video, I went to the doctor for a physical, and they were like, yeah, for obviously you need to lose the weight, but like you really need to lose the weight because you are now pre-diabetic. If you don't do something differently, you will end up having diabetes. And
When
that shit runs in
I
my family. So I'm like,
when
I really do need to do something.
when I started looking at my health, one of the first things, with estradiol, estradiol is one of the medications that's used to kind of mess around with your blood sugar levels
Yeah.
and diabetes. So, but I was gonna have to go on it for my transition, because it's a hormone, it's a girl hormone.
Yes.
And one of the things that they said was, oh, by the way, it increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. And I was, again, drinking six cans of soda a day. So I went cold turkey on the soda.
Good.
For several months before getting the blood work done to see if I qualified. And thankfully I did qualify just. And when I mean just, James, I never told you this, but when I got my blood work done in March, I was borderline pre-diabetic.
Oh, damn.
I was borderline. My glucose level was 114.
Yeah, you're at what I'm at right now, and that's after like 6 months of
Of cold turkey, no soda.
yeah.
Like drinking 1 can a day, maybe.
Ah, damn,
So
that
imagine
sucks.
how I was at that time when I wasn't taking care of myself.
Pretty
Imagine
fucking bad.
how much of a ticking time bomb my body was at that moment.
Yeah.
When I didn't care about how much fast food I was eating, or didn't care how much soda I was drinking. Because after the fast food trip, I got sick of fast food, and only went to the
Good.
places were like B or higher.
Yep.
Even now, except for 2 exceptions, which is except for the one exception, which is Chester's. That's the one place that's still like a C or lower that I still go to. But only because I know the people that work at the local Chester's at my place. But it was like, no, like the whole between the fast food road trip and me taking that time to take care of my body, if I hadn't have done that, I probably would have been diabetic by now and not even realize it. I probably was diabetic in that moment. I was probably diabetic during the fast food road trip and didn't realize it, especially with the high altitude and everything.
Probably. I mean,
You know,
hey,
and I
same.
probably-
Same.
And I probably didn't even realize it. So in a way, this fast food road trip really helped to kind of start shifting that focus away from not taking care of myself. Because I see that, I'm like, damn, because you could even see in some instances I have pretty bad acne. My skin's pretty clear now. You can see that my hair is not kept at all. It's not kept right now. I worked today, but it's brushed. It's not, split ends are like gone. Like my hair is healthier. My skin's healthier. My mental health is better. Like I'm in a much better position now than I was a year ago.
Yeah, and that's good. As for me,
as for you, yeah, you've been making some. I haven't even seen you, so I don't even know.
That's why I wanted to do webcams, is so that way I could show you. But like, I soon enough I'll be back in Wisconsin. You can kind of see it. I'm still fat. Like that's just how it's gonna be for a while. But like, I was
frame, unfortunately.
I was like 308 or 30, between like 308 and 303 pounds, depending on like when I was weighing myself and if I was wearing my normal outfits or not. I now weigh, I got the pre-diabetic scare. I immediately went into overdrive and asked like all my fitness pals and a bunch of my like Wisconsin friends that have
you got me
lost
involved,
weight.
You got Danny involved.
Yeah, I got everybody I could involved on this on this, where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. I need y'all to keep me accountable for what I'm doing, and more importantly, help me. Like, just if you got an idea, let me know.
Yeah.
Since then, I've been going to the gym like 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, depending on like how I feel on one of those days. I play a lot of Beat Saber and other VR games as sort of like a light workout after work. And I'm eating better. I'm eating less carbs. I'm trying to actually give a shit about what I put in my
Yeah.
body. I basically never go. I do have fast food on occasion, and I will get burgers,
here.
but I plan for that. I'm at like
Well, yeah, that's me
two.
too. My diet's more regular, but it was going.
Yeah, I am at as of today. I think I weighed myself in the morning. I'm at 223 pounds.
Dude, that's insane. That's 80 pounds.
Basically 80 pounds, yeah. And when I went to the doctor to get my blood work done again, I'm still at risk for diabetes, but I'm not pre-diabetic. They just see that my glucose level is a lot higher than it should be. But they're like,
same here. And
you
the
have
reason
made improvements. And also they looked at the chart previously after they weighed me, and they're like, do you know you weigh 240 right now? I'm like, yeah. And that you used to weigh 310 pounds? I'm like, yes. This was 6 months ago. I'm like, yes, I know.
My heaviest was, and this is again part of me eating right, because I wasn't eating regularly or anything like that. I was not taking care of myself.
Mhm.
I was weighing around 140 to 150 at my heaviest. And you could even see that now in my face there is a bit more rounder and everything. But my face is rounder here too, but that's because the fat's redistributed. Okay, because that's how HRT will do that. But I am now back to what I weighed in high school. 120.
Girl, nice.
And not
Hell
only
yeah.
that, but because of that, I no longer need to resubmit a photo ID. I can just renew it online. I don't have to go in and get another photo ID because my complexion and everything is largely unchanged. It's back to what it was in high school.
Mm.
So I don't need to go in and take another photo. I mean, I probably still will because it's an awful photo of me. But if I don't have time to, I don't need to.
Mm.
So, which is nice. I am now what my ID says on my driver's license for how much I weigh and how tall I am, which is nice. Which is the first since COVID, because I put on quite a few pounds in COVID, and they didn't go away. And I was like thinking to myself, "Oh God, it's finally happening. My metabolism is finally slowed down." No, my brain just had a really severe chemical imbalance.
Mm.
It needed to be corrected.
Yeah, no, mine was a lot simpler. I just needed to stop eating entire pizzas for dinner.
Yeah,
that was like the simplest solution is just go to the fucking gym and eat less. And then it's like, wow, when you actually care about your health, you could do a lot in a relatively short amount of time.
You can have a normal sleep schedule. You could actually be hungry for a change instead of just mindlessly eating.
Yeah, here's the thing. I could, but I choose not to.
Oh, I'm referring to myself.
Right, but I'm mainly saying the sleep schedule.
Granted, our sleep schedule is still going to be garbage.
You know, I don't want to necessarily give off the wrong impression here. I don't necessarily think this trip specifically is what changed my mindset about fast food, because I abstained, or like all the other stuff that came after it. I abstained from fast food basically for like the 6 months or so it took us to like commit to the plan and then actually start the road trip. Because I'm like, we're gonna have a ton of it. I don't want to overdo it.
And to be fair, before the Fast Food Road Trip, I was already talking about ways I can cut out soda in my life. And it's just, we're talking about snapshots into our lives. And this is a pretty, I look at that photo, I'm like, wow, there's a difference.
I still like that photo. I know how you feel about it, but
it's a great photo of me being really happy in a moment. It's a caption. You've described it as like the purest form of joy that could ever be photographed.
Yeah, the happiest I've ever seen you. If you want to talk about like moments where you look dead inside,
there we go.
Yeah, it's here.
I've only gotten my hair cut once since then.
Oh God. I mean, I actually, you take care of your hair now, so it's probably a lot better.
It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't tangle. It's not matted. It's a little bit frayed right now, but that's because I was at work all day and I work in retail outdoors. So,
Yeah,
but
hold
no,
on.
I do. But
I gotta find where I was
like,
dead inside real quick.
like even my skin looks a lot cleaner now on camera than that, which is like shocking. Like I never know. Oh yeah, that's dead. No, beginning of day 7 when we leave Roswell.
Yeah. You mean day 6?
That's day 6 for both of us. That is like,
which is funny
there we
because we were
go.
trying to look like just awake at least. We didn't
And
even manage
normal.
that. Hold on.
No, it's
Did
further.
not burn
It's right
So,
after Roswell.
That's the end of day 5. It was a long
Right after
and
Roswell.
Right
stressful
after
day
Roswell.
for both of us. But
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, it is day. Because it's day 5, so you're right. It is day 7. I'm just an idiot. No wonder I couldn't find it. Reason. But we weren't quite done with there.
There it is.
Just now, closest
Like,
we're
we
ever
were
gonna get to
trying-
1,000-yard stare.
From both of us.
Yeah, dude.
Like, to be fair, we were both planning that look.
Yes.
Like, we both were planning like straight-faced look with both of us wearing our shirts. Mine's like sitting on my bed.
Yeah.
Should have wore it, but it's dirty.
I wore mine. And I gotta say, through lovingly wearing this shirt ever since this trip and also washing it, it's definitely faded a bit
I
compared to
faded
the
that much,
original,
but that's because
I like it. still.
mine's faded a little bit, but only because I collect novelty T-shirts.
Ah,
But it's not faded that much.
yeah.
I've got shirts that are way more faded, but they're also way older. I only wear like I've got I think around 60 novelty T-shirts. I need to get rid of some of them.
Yeah.
I thought about donating them or giving them to friends, but we'll see.
I also want to point out that like
Man,
between
yeah.
day 6 and 7, I had this like moment where I was like, shit. Not only did we have like a good ass time that day, and like, you know, all things considered, a
You
really
had-
fun trip so far.
Roswell gave you a second wind.
Yeah, Roswell definitely gave me a second wind. I think it gave you like that extra boost as well. But you were still really
gave
feeling
me-
travel fatigue by this point too.
Oh my god!
And I just
you
wasn't
wanna
really
talk
aware
about-
of that.
You want okay? Day 7, like I was still okay, right?
Ah.
Like there, I'm fine. Like there, I'm doing a bit. I still look like horse shit, but I'm doing fine. Like because I remember driving and being just gobsmacked the whole time. Like when the cameras were off, I was smiling. I was having a great time. I was. But then we get to Denver, and that's when the homesickness really settled in because back to the mental health thing, sadly, sorry. I had extreme anxiety and depression. And I never had been away from home for more than 7 days in my entire life.
Yeah.
So usually my body is used. So usually my mental mindset is, okay, after 7 days, I usually am home by now. Not in this case. I still had, at this time, 3 more days until I had to get on a jet plane for the 3rd time in my life and fly back to in a tiny ass plane through several storms. There was a lot of turbulence on that flight. That flight was horrible. The seatbelt light never turned off once. But it was a 2-hour flight. So it was a quick flight, thankfully.
Damn.
And again, I know in the wholesome moment, when I landed back home and I saw my mom at the gate, I cried. I did. I cried and I said, let's go to fucking Quick Trip, please. And my mom was like, you want more burgers? I'm like, no,
I just want to see
I'm taking a piss. I'm taking a piss, obviously, but
Oh god.
I did end up going to Quick Trip the next day, and like, man, I remember seeing everybody on the voice call when I landed, and seeing everybody on the voice call waiting for me when I got back home to Wisconsin, and seeing how I was, and I sat in this chair that I'm sitting in right now, 10 days after I got up from it to go to do this crazy freaking thing, and I was like, holy shit. I just did that.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I got back to work because you were staying at my place a couple of extra days until you flied out on a Wednesday. Yeah, and
It was
I
a
went to work
Wednesday,
on
yeah.
I went to work on Tuesday, and I came in and I just proudly set the cork board, like
I
the master
remember
copy
you
of it
telling me
on
about
my
that.
desk, and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm back. You want to hear about what I did?" And as you can imagine, nobody cared.
No one cared.
And
Everyone in the
that was fine.
World Den was like, everyone on Scroll Den was on fire because they're like, holy shit, you're back. Because apparently when I left,
We thought you were dead.
no, the server died.
Oh.
No activity.
Yeah.
What was the thing that you always told me about with the server? That event, don't be surprised if it ever dies?
Yeah. You were worried that might have been what it is.
No. It made me realize I was the one carrying it.
Yes. Yes. And I think you carry it very well, if I'm being completely honest with you.
I appreciate
You are a
that.
much better admin than some of the people that I've known to run servers of that size. So, you know.
Oh, I
Good job.
appreciate that.
Good shit.
I take good pride in it. We just celebrated our second anniversary in that server.
Woo!
And I did a little special thing for it. I gave the original 20 members of the server a special role. You were one of them.
I was, yes.
19 or 19. You remember number 19 or 20?
Okay.
So you barely made the cut.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
There was actually a couple of people that would have gotten it, and you wouldn't have made the cut, but they had left the server or other means. So yeah, the 20, it was the 20 oldest members of the server, and you made the cut. And that was like till the end of the month, and I got rid of the role. I might do it again next year, but I already have something in mind.
Let's switch gears here real quick and try and bring this all home within like a next like 10-15 minutes or so.
Part 2. What are we doing for a follow-up video?
Oh God, yeah, okay. That let's tackle that first. Let's tackle that first. What are the big projects that we still have on the chopping block?
Well, I was trying to do a soda thing, but then I had to stop.
True.
For medical reasons.
I still think you can make that work.
Listen, I don't think I could.
Well, no, not necessarily the original idea, but like a deep dive into soda and like the history and culture surrounding it. I think you can make that work without having to try a bunch of soda.
I could too, but it would have to be like more of a video essay versus a blog. This was originally going to be a vlog. Now it's going to be more of a video essay. I don't think I can make it a vlog like I originally intended. No.
Well,
and that's primarily because you know, I don't want to risk it. Like
that's
I am
fair.
like
no, that's fair.
I will at work. I will drink 1 bottle of Dr. Pepper, and I will struggle to get through it.
And diet Dr. Pepper is just not an option?
I can't do diet.
Okay.
Can't do diet.
I get
and
that.
When I mean struggle, it's like this sounds stupid. The flavor's stronger now. It's stronger now. Now that I don't drink as much soda, my body isn't used to it. So it's like I will actually get jittery. I'll actually get jittery after a half a bottle like I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah, you took a tolerance break.
Like, oh boy, did I.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a little bit where I was gaining that tolerance back because about a week ago I ran out of water and I switched back to my soda supply out of necessity, but I tried to vary it as much as I could. I kept drinking like ginger ale and Sprite instead of hard colas and caffeinated beverages.
Oh,
so,
dude,
I tried to do it as best I could.
You know what we forgot to mention in the video at all?
What?
We forgot to mention that. We forgot to mention that we brought bottles of water with us in case we needed, in case we weren't really able to like stop and refill water bottles and stuff. And it was a whole crate of Dasani because I don't really care for the flavors of bottled water as long as it's just water,
At the time,
and
the
you
only
like
bottle of
Dasani a
water-
lot.
The
at the
only
time.
bottle of water I could drink is Dasani. But now that the
Yes.
soda tolerance is gone, Dasani did the job. Okay? Let me hear me out. I did do the Dasani thing, where after I stopped drinking soda in August, I switched to Dasani. But you're right, Dasani's shit.
Yeah, it's my least favorite, but I also don't give a shit. I will drink it still.
But Dasani, I was the only water I could stand to drink, because here's what Dasani really did for me. It was the closest to soda that you could get out of a plain old bottle of water, because it was still had a lot of salt in it, and it was still very addicting.
You really should try. You really should try like carbonated mineral water.
No,
that got me.
You know what
that got me to kick soda really fast.
Dasani did help me to kick soda.
Good.
It did.
Okay.
And now I drink. This is funny. I'm holding up an empty bottle of the water I drank during the shoot.
What is it?
It's Ace brand purified water.
Oh my god! Yeah,
my hardware store
Jesus
carries its own brand of bottled water, and that's what I've been buying.
Oh my god! And that works for you though.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't judge it if it works.
I drink like 3 of these a day.
Awesome.
And I will refill one bottle with collagen water at work.
Okay.
So I only drink like 2 bottles of Ace water, and that's my preferred. I will sometimes drink the gas station bottled water, the nature whatever.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
And then collagen will be number 3. Those are my 3 brands. So it's not like soup. Like, yeah, I'll still be ingesting a ton of microplastics and whatever. But brother,
who doesn't? You can basically breathe and get infected with microplastics these days.
But the microplastics I'm getting from the water is still a hell of a lot better than what I was getting when I was drinking 6 cans of soda a day.
True.
You know, like I'm still way healthier now than I was with the microplastics than I was without when I was drinking cans of soda all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So those are some of the ideas we have on the horizon.
Well,
and then
Hawaiian pizza was also pizza was thrown out there.
I am still obsessed with Hawaiian pizza. I might just make that as a video, even if it doesn't go on Video Flux. I might just do it anyway, because like I put too much work into that to give up.
With Video Flux, my biggest priority right now is getting back into streaming again.
Yes.
That is my biggest priority. Is I want to get back into streaming. I also want to get back into VR.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a sec. Sorry, pause. Yeah. Sorry, Mother's Day plans.
Yeah, I got you. Continue.
No, so like, for what I'd want to do with Video Flux next, this. But honestly, no. In all seriousness, the dystopian thing it's sitting in the back of my mind. The dystopian essay.
I still think you should look into it and do it. Like, the hardest part about any of these projects, and even like the Drive-Thru Roadtrip, was just I had this bad habit of planning of going through and doing a lot of like preliminary stuff, and then when it comes time to like take the next step that revolves around actually putting in work, I just say I don't want to do it anymore, or like I'll wait until I get a partner or something to do this with.
Which is part of the reason why Video Flux exists to begin with, is because right now I think the biggest problem we have with Video Flux is that you and I are doing independent projects. The reason the fast food worked was because we were both doing the same project. That was a long-term project that nobody said no to and nobody stopped us.
Yep.
And that we were both equally as passionate about. Whereas you try to do something with pizza, I'm like, I really don't want to travel to Detroit. And I'll go, oh, I want to do soda. Then you go argue, oh, well, you're pre-diabetic. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I am too, so I can't do that.
Yeah, so that's
then you would go, oh, well, let's do the hump for the big burger. I'm like, well, then we still have to do it separate. I'd rather do it together filming.
True.
Which is a lot of coordinating.
True.
And then I would counter with, well, what about dystopia? And then you're like, well, and then you'll go, well, it's something that I think is interesting and I'll give advice on, but I don't really want to help put the work in. neither of us.
Damn, I really said that. Shit.
And neither of us have found the project that we're both like, let's do it. Like we did with Fast Food Road Trip. Neither of us have found that thing that both of us can go and be autistic about.
I think that is the problem, is like we're just not enthusiastic and then go like, oh, you want to do it? Fuck yeah, let's go. Like that just doesn't happen. And I'm not, I don't know if that's like I don't know if it's just the ideas or like if it's a individual
We both have
thing.
a lot of really good ideas. It's just I'm not motivated to follow through, and I'm not motivated to follow through with the ideas, and neither are you. But when we're working together, we tend to kind of both pick up where we like. Because here's where you drag your heels in the project, and I know I dragged my heels with video essay. I know I did too, but you did too with the planning itself, the planning of the route itself, and finding all the getting the route to the finish line and getting the hotels and cities picked out. That was me that did that.
Yes. Because that was the hardest thing, is like we need to narrow down the list first of all, and then like from there I need to just take some time to figure out where everything is. You did that in like a weekend. You did that in a fucking weekend. Yeah, that was crazy. I relish in
doing the logistics.
Yeah.
Because I love doing that shit. The thing is, like, we both obviously have strengths and weaknesses, because I also was the one that suggested that instead of using high quality audio equipment, we just used the stuff on our phones, because realistically it was fine. Even though I said, we could try using a lav mic. I'll get a lav mic. I could probably use a lav mic. Lav mic still I can't get working, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I gave up on that the moment that you were like, I can come up with a jury-rig solution. I'm like, we're not jury-rigging shit. Like that is an extra layer of we're not going to do it if it's a pain in the ass to set up.
We really need to find a project that we're both passionate about, that we can both work on, and that when one of us starts to stumble a little, the other one can pick up the torch and keep running.
Yeah, I think that's the key. That is the key.
Because I was able to pick up the torch when you were struggling with the logistics, and then when I was struggling mentally and couldn't help you with the video editing, which is something I'm really good at, you had to pick up the torch and keep running with that.
Yep.
And then we were both sprinting full speed during the trip itself, and doing this, and we were checking in with each other regularly and making sure that things were doing good on both of our ends. And we both kept bouncing off each other for feedback, even though that the other one wasn't really feeling it. Like, I could tell that there were instances when I was trying to text you about the cities, the route itself, where it was kind of like pulling teeth. And I know it was like pulling teeth trying to get me to watch previews of this video.
Yeah,
I know it was.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I couldn't get anybody to watch this shit ahead of time. So I think the problem is, like, you can ask somebody to watch a video once and then they'll give you feedback. If you ask them twice, they'll be like, bro, I already did that. Like, I ain't doing it again.
I did eventually do it, but again, it was like...
It took a long time for any of us to get around to doing it.
It took me a minute because I was going through things.
Yes. I never blamed you for that. It was annoying, but I understood why.
I am blaming
and I did it, and I was like, somebody's got to do it.
You listen, you are more than accommodating, but I'm still going to hold myself accountable and say, yep, nope, that's me.
Okay.
Because we've even talked about how to split it, and we've acknowledged many a times that even though the channel is with my email and all that, you would likely get the majority cut revenue.
Oh, yeah, not a problem anymore. Yeah, that's not a problem yet.
But if it ever did, you know how some videos will go. Some videos will be like 10 years old and then get 1 million views overnight.
I feel like what's going to happen with this.
That's always going to happen.
I feel like what's going to happen with this is like we're gonna eventually get a project that we can sink our teeth into, figuratively and probably literally. Then we'll go do it, and then we'll have a much better understanding of how to do this, and then it'll be much better. And that's what I want as the sequel. Like, doing an actual another road trip to visit something on regards to, like, I don't know, coffee or donuts or whatever. That's cool.
or doing an insane marathon of trying a bunch of different things, like with soda. That would be cool too.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, we both need something to kind of sink our teeth into.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right now, your ideas are meant to me, and my ideas are meant to you. Like we both like the idea.
I'll be honest with you. I think that is the biggest problem that we're trying to jump over is like we just don't have that spark. We got fuel, but we don't have anything to light it on.
I have one.
Yeah.
I think that we can both sink our teeth into, and that we can both relate to. But
Yeah.
spitballing furries.
Okay. I need you to be a little bit more specific here.
I'm afraid I can't be.
That you want to talk about that?
No. I'm talking about the subject matter in general. Like, I'm just shooting a broad. Like with you, it's fast food, right?
Oh, okay. You're like, here's the topic. Here's the topic. Yeah.
Whereas furries, we've both taken deep dives into furry fandoms, more than we care to admit. Me more so than
Damn
you,
right.
but even you were able to.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I still have my friends giving me shit about like explaining to them what a furry is. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, that could be it, but we need to figure out something to bring to the table.
Yeah. It seems like the hardest part is finding a topic that's broad enough to do enough research on, and then you nail the thing you like about it, and then that's the actual video. The research is already half done, and then you find the other shit.
What if we did a video essay on why furries aren't cringe?
Well, I mean, I can tell. Here's the thing, right? Like, I could tell you that it's not that I'm not uninterested in the idea. Okay.
I'm spitballing.
If you put it on a channel, your channel now becomes the furry channel. That's just the way that works.
Fast food channel. That's not much better.
We got one video.
We got one video.
I know, but that's the thing. Is like you do one thing. Furries is not just. It's not just a phenomenon with furries, but there are some videos or video topics that you do, and then you're like, oh, that's the woke channel.
No. Look at it this way, right? Hugsby's would totally do that video. He would also totally do a fast food road trip.
I'm surprised he didn't. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I was expecting.
You know why he didn't?
I was expecting that some big name YouTuber would have already done this by now. And yes, I know that the fucking Rainforest Cafe and the Margaritaville videos came out before this. I started planning this shit in 2021. All right.
We guarantee
it took us a long time.
This thing was on the market board, our idea board, well before theirs was. We just are much smaller and have way less money than them.
And we are way less funnier. Significantly less funnier, and also they definitely have a much...
I like
their videos are better. I'm just going to say it. Their videos are good. Watching them is what got me being like, we absolutely need to do this and do it really well because people like this idea, and I don't want it to just be like a vlog. Like, it is a vlog, but like I don't want it to just be a vlog. I want it to be something else.
No, but what if we did do something with furries? Because that's something that we both are passionate about, in some degree.
That's
like, what if we both found a thing that we can bring to the table with furries? Like I say, what if we found a way to make them not cringe? Okay, well, another one that was bouncing in my brain the second I said that was, what if we showed them that it's not about porn? You know, or do a deep dive of some sort. Like there are other angles. Like there are many angles we could take it, but we just need to find the angle that we both could bring to the like we both really like.
Maybe, yeah.
Again,
I could see it.
Just one broad thing. Another thing that we can do is hipsters.
That I'd be willing. That I'm more willing to do than the furries.
I'd be down for that.
Mainly because I live in a hipster paradise right now. So Oh, wait,
And-
no.
And I
hold on.
pioneered hipsters. I pioneered it.
Hold on. I had this idea. I think I talked to you about this before. I had this idea where if we could get somebody as like a dedicated cameraman, and we did enough research to find this, it would be great if we just did a little like actual documentary talking about street art, like talking about murals, talking about graffiti, talking about all that stuff.
Hipster.
I know it's not hipster, but it reminded me of that.
I said I would go with you to help do videography and audiography, and then you also were trying to get Grant to come with as well.
Yeah.
But the problem is you gotta now convince more than 2 people to kind of do this project with you. Like, you've convinced me. I don't know if you've convinced Grant, and if you did convince Grant, okay, well, how's that schedule gonna work? You know,
I don't know. We'll figure. That's a problem for like after we nail down the rest of the stuff, because that's what we ran into that. We ran into that with the road trip when we did it, right?
Yeah, but then you narrowed it down to 2.
Can I? No. Let's finish this line of thought, and then I'll.
I think
interject.
that one. I wouldn't. Again, that's one idea that I'm like kind of met about. I wouldn't be able to bring much to the table, but you could. Whereas with hipsters, we both can bring stuff to the table. We can both contribute. We can both, and furthermore, we wouldn't have to do it. We wouldn't have to make a giant road trip out of it.
No, we would just have to. Oh God, talk to people and do research.
That's something that we can both do, James.
I know we can.
That's a project like the hipster, like doing a deep dive in hipsters of some sort. Would likely be a pretty decent video idea, actually. I think we can make that one work if we really wanted to. And I'm going to put that on the idea board.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's look into it a little bit more and discuss this further. But for now, we have this thing to wrap up that we're yapping on about, right? I think I just want to finalize my thoughts on this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
This was a very stupid idea. I think it could have been done tremendously better if we had just did other things on a much smaller scale first, like just to get the recording equipment out of the way, and like the growing pains and stuff wouldn't have been nearly as bad. And if we had like 10 days of the whole road trip as opposed to 7, I know that would have not really worked out for you mentally at the time. But it would have been easier on us because we wouldn't have been in such a rush the first half and the back half.
Even now it wouldn't have worked. And I'm not saying that because I'm mental wreck or anything. I'm
Okay.
a lot better.
Good.
It's just I know my limit. My limit is 7 days. I could not stand being away from the cheese state for more than 7 days. I couldn't.
That's fair.
I found my comfort level, and this is home. I would not see myself anywhere else for quite a long time. Like, there would have to be some pretty drastic things to happen before I would like say, all right, screw Wisconsin, I'm out of here.
That's fair. So like I think that there was a lot that could have been done better, but we did it. Like,
we did it.
I am
a year
still so goddamn happy that not only did we do the trip, we did the video.
We went on a cross-country road trip.
Yeah.
I never thought I could do that in my lifetime. Granted, I thought I would have to tackle the country in chunks, not the whole thing.
Well, I mean, we still didn't see like the Pacific Northwest. There's still more to see, but like, yeah, we saw like more than half of it. We saw more than half of the regions. But
that's the beauty about something like that, right? We did leave some pages unturned. We did leave some rocks unturned. There is still more to look forward to and exploring. Even in Nashville and New Orleans, we both acknowledge that we both want to go back there to both Nashville and New Orleans. Like, we've both talked about it. You know, you and Danny thought about going back to Nashville. I'm like, hell, if you go back to Nashville, I mean, how much of a drive is it for me? Only about like a day. I mean, I've done it. I know what the drive's like now. I can do it.
And that right there, what you just said, I think that is the big. I didn't do this in the video because I was just kind of like more or less in a rush. I hate to say it, in a rush to get it done, but like you have the confidence to do it because you've done it.
Yes.
You don't get that much in life unless you do dumb things, and even if it doesn't really work out the way you want it to, like it's the whole thing of you don't know until you try, and it's really sappy, and it's probably why I didn't bother including it in the video. But when you feel like you've done something that nobody else has cared to do, and you do it, you get that. A lot of people get that bug. They get that itch where they're like, I want to do something else, but maybe not that big, that insane. I want that more in my life.
No, I would love to go traveling again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I told you that I'm putting off the California trip.
Correct. Yes, the train one, right?
I was gonna do the California trip next year. I decided that I'm gonna wait until the Olympics.
Ah, that's smart. That's smart.
Because A, I'll have a lot more money.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And B, I'll be a lot more mature in terms of like my mental health and everything like that. And C, dude, it's the Olympics, man. Olympics. I might actually be able to pull off going to the Olympics if I play my cards right. If I start planning years in advance. Oh, dude. We did this in a year in advance.
Yeah.
It took us a year to plan this. The Olympics is 4 years from now. That's a lot of planning that I can get done.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time to play around with.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I'm not really too worried about like going and crossing a bunch of stuff off my bucket list. Because
right.
I don't have a ton keeping me from doing it right now. It's more committing to it. That's the issue.
My bucket list is quite short at the moment. My bucket list is quite short.
That's fair. No, hey, that could be a good thing.
It
means you can fill it in
a lot
more.
longer.
Yeah.
It was a lot longer. But believe it or not, the fast food road trip was one of the real big ones.
Yeah. Go on a big road trip, try all the fast food places, go back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Go back to Colorado.
That was not on the trip. That was not on the bucket list.
Well,
I hate to tell you.
But now you've also gotten a taste of the Southwest. Like, there's a lot of... We did a fuck... I didn't even... Oh, God. Like,
we went from the swamp... We went from Midwest...
Below sea level.
We went to Midwest to below sea level in the swamps to the Appalachian Mountains. We kissed the Appalachians, down to the swamps of Louisiana, down to the plains of Texas, into the desert, back up to the Rockies.
Back up to the plains of Texas.
Yeah, I suppose we sideways more than anything. We went sideways.
Okay.
There's a lot of sideways. If we went up, it was like 50, maybe 100 miles at the most.
Dude, we were fucking below sea level, and then like a day and a half later, we are in the mountains. Like basically almost in the mountains. What the fuck?
In less than 60 hours.
Yeah.
In about 48 hours, we were sea level to highest point, the lowest point of the United States to one of the highest points in the United States.
We were slightly below sea level, and then we were like a mile or a mile and a half high, walking on fucking sand dunes.
Yeah.
What the hell is this country? Sometimes, man.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah. I think I don't regret doing this trip. Like, as miserable as day 5 was, as better, and as much as I am disappointed in parts of the video itself,
as much as my checkbook hates me.
Yeah, and as much as we spent too much of our goddamn money on it, it was you just got to do something really stupid because you really want to, and say fuck it to the consequences.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, there are limits to that, of course.
We were kissing them,
and we kissed them, definitely. We definitely had those limits hit us in the fucking back of the head.
If I didn't do it, I would be in a much better position and be in a much nicer car by now. But I have no regrets. That is one of the coolest things I will ever do in my life for quite a while.
Yeah. Now we just gotta find a follow-up.
I mean, my follow-up in terms of travel is the Olympics now.
Hell yeah.
And maybe Japan.
I went to Mesa
Um,
Verde shortly after not shortly after, but like
Believe
while
it or
working on
not,
the video itself, I went to Mesa Verde. I went down to Santa Fe to go see the solar eclipse.
believe it or not, when I was doing since it's been a year, I haven't really done much traveling.
Mhm.
Like I've traveled within the confines of Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Like I went to Rockford for the first time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Actually, no, it's actually kind of cool. I found some cool things in Rockford to kind of go back
Oh, that's
to.
good. That's good.
There's a really, really cool record store that sells laserdiscs and sets. There's actually an family entertainment center, like an old school family entertainment center. It's got mini golf, laser tag, arcade games, bowling. Like it's got the whole package. It's actually really fun. I've been there, and I'm planning on going there at least 1 or 2 more times in the near future. There's a nickel arcade it's vintage arcade place that's got like 5-cent coins. I found some really cool candy stores and soda shops. I found some, there's actually things that just like in 2022, I have found a list of things I want to do with my vacation this year.
Good.
Because I do plan on doing a 10-day vacation like I have done in previous years. And this one's going to be more of a staycation like in 2022 and 21. Only this one is going to be me going down to Rockford and up to Madison and then down over to Chicago more frequently. I'm not going to touch Milwaukee too much. If I do, it'll be like for 2 days. And I don't think I'm going to do Green Bay at all. Well, the previous years I did, but I don't think I'm going to do Green Bay this year. Green Bay is a bit of much.
I'm still trying to find somebody to go with me to Michigan to say hi to one of my old roommates when I was living in Illinois.
Listen, I'd be happy to ride along with you, but I'm not going to drive.
That sounds fair. Honestly, at this point, it kind of looks like if we go up through the UP, then my mom and my sister might be down to join, but it's still going to be one hell of a trip.
I've never been to the UP.
I'll get back to you on the dates if you're down to come by, because
Sure.
It's gonna be that week that I'm in town, obviously. So you want to see me anyway. You want to see a lot fucking more of me than is like. If you want to see more of me than what a doctor would prescribe, that's how you do it.
I mean, we said that last year.
Yeah, I'm surprised we still like each other after all this. I'm gonna be real with you.
I thought for certain that you would have wanted to kill me at some point.
New Orleans almost.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on, let me find
Colorado.
that. Yeah.
I know the photo. Here's the thing. You told me why, and it was partly Danny's fault. Listen, man.
Oh, that no. It's because I was fucking up the parking lot the parking garage in New Orleans, and I was like, dude, I just need a minute. Sorry, please. Yeah, I think that was the only time I really snapped at you, and then the other times was like
you did not. I didn't consider you snapping at me at all.
I did, but damn,
I couldn't tell. I must have been
at the time. I think you were. Regardless.
Like, I may have been like, okay, yeah, he just needs a minute, and I gave him the minute.
Thank you.
But
yeah,
I don't think it was anything like out of the unreasonableness of it, because I that was a little loaded. I did force you to say, I did say, no, you're driving in New Orleans, because I did remember New Orleans being really shitty to drive in.
After you driving through Chicago, I figured you proved your commitment and bravery enough, so I was like, yeah, I'll drive. Like, I drive in worse traffic every day. It's no big deal.
Here's the thing. I will take driving in Chicago over driving in New Orleans or Denver, for that matter, any day.
Yeah, I don't
know how you do it. I don't know. Like,
well, I can walk to work now. I'm like, I can walk to work now, so I only use my car when I go somewhere fun.
When we drove through Denver, I was like, wow, the traffic is worse here than Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't want to really continue the conversation on like the negative shit because we are trying to wrap this up. But like, if we're gonna talk about the thing that annoyed me the most, it was whenever we like get caught in traffic, it would always be I would hear a comment from you like, "Yeah, wow, traffic sucks." I'm like, "I know, I fucking live here. I know, it sucks, and I wish it didn't."
Listen,
God, that it wasn't even you
I've
that I was pissed
only-
at. It was just I hate it when people do that.
I will say that I have never experienced traffic that bad since. Like,
Good.
granted,
Good.
people in Madison and
bastard.
Milwaukee and on the interstate drive like complete maniacs and menaces to society. I'll say
Yes.
that. But they don't. But it's not like bumper to bumper for 45 minutes.
Yeah. There
now.
are
Like,
times in
it
Denver where
only
it's not worth
it
getting in the
only-
car.
It's only been ever that bad when there's like a really bad traffic accident or
True.
something like that around here. So
I mean, that's kind of the. If I'm being real with you, though, that is kind of the same way that it is in Denver. It's just that you magnify that by like another factor of like 20.
well, that
Because
and
there's
not
more
only that,
people
but-
here, and it's specifically here. Because once you get out of Denver, once you get out of like the metropolitan area, the population density just fucking nosedives.
Well, the thing with Denver is, as well, is because it's nosedives, there isn't that many alternative routes.
True. And I was
Whereas-
warned by this by Danny when I moved here.
And with Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, Rockford, any of the cities around here, dude, the density goes down, but there is a country road literally every square mile. There's literally there's literally a back road every single mile that you can go down to avoid it.
That's true.
You know, so if you put your thing in the GPS and it's like, oh, unexpected traffic delay, rerouting. This route's gonna be about 2 minutes slower, but it will be. But
At least you'll be driving.
Just fine. At least you'll be moving.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's
that is like the same problem that I ran into when I was in Chicago, where like if you were bumper to bumper, like you were basically fucked. Like it was better to stay on the
yeah,
interstate.
in some parts of Chicago, I agree.
Mhm.
But in like the more rural parts of like in the more suburban areas, like at McHenry County, or like say Gertie Mills area, or places like that. Oh shoot, you could either take the interstate or the back roads, and it's going to be about the same distance, and it just depends on what's got less traffic.
Yeah.
You know, like in like the outer skirts of Chicago, there are many different ways to go from point A to point B, depending on what point A and B is.
Yeah. I would
In
take
Madison,
the train
there's,
every
like,
time.
Oh yeah, including the train.
It takes
including the bus.
forever compared to driving sometimes, but like you don't do anything. You just listen to a podcast for an hour and then you're in downtown Chicago. It's nice.
When I'm driving to a friend's house who lives in Oconomowoc, I kid you not, every single time I put his address in my GPS, it takes me a different way. Time.
Oh, that's funny.
It is. It's an inside joke. You know him. You know, Adeptus Quintinius.
Okay. Yes.
He lives on the edge of Oconomowoc, but it's like 4 roads deep. You know, it's like back road, back road, back road, back road. You know, so like you're about 3 or 4 back roads deep where the lines are made up and the ditches don't matter. You know?
Yeah,
you know, one more back road deep and it would be dirt road.
Sometimes
That's
driving
how-
is just so nice, and then most of the time it's just so shitty.
In Wisconsin, I will say that even though we have some of the worst roads in America at the moment, they are amongst the prettiest in terms of like traffic, in terms of like scenery versus traffic versus pit stops.
True.
It's one of the most digestible places to drive in.
Yeah.
Like they're
One of the
don't get
reasons
me
why
wrong.
I don't mind doing a UP trip, because like it'll take a lot longer, but as long as there's no
You can
accidents, we'll
stop
just
in
be
Green
fucking driving.
Bay, you can stop. There's plenty of places
Yeah.
to stop. You know, Wisconsin's road network is the oldest in the country, quite literally. It's actually the oldest in the world.
Oh, it certainly feels like
Um,
that with all the fucking potholes.
yeah, it does. My great grandfather used to have a saying back in the 30s. It's amazing. Wisconsin's so good at keeping the roads in the same condition over the span of 20 years.
That condition is just shit.
Yes,
Um,
it's consistently garbage for 20 years. Yeah, and my great grandfather said that back when Wisconsin used to be one of the better states for road conditions. So
oh God. But I think since we've been going a little over 4 hours here, I think we need
yes,
to. I think we should wrap this up. And
I sure
if you
yes,
have,
getting this to
do you have any like? I mean, if you have any like other things you want to talk about real quick, then by all means.
I think I ran my course. I talked about, me and a year ago versus me now. I've talked
Mhm.
about the impact the trip has had. I talked about some of the issues I've had with the
Oh,
video and mistakes that were made
there
and what
was
I liked about it.
okay. There was something that I was gonna bring up while you were talking about like how the video, well, not the video, how the trip affected you. But I think I'm gonna summarize that in like my closing statement here. Um,
You go ahead, send it off.
you
Send it.
well, it's just my closing statement. I'm gonna give you if you want one, I can give you one too. But
Well, if I have a rebuttal for your closing statement, I'll give one, but that's about it. How's that
um,
sound?
we put a lot of work into this. I think a lot of people respect that. Once again, I appreciate everybody that we annoyed by talking about this for the better part of like a year, and then we did it, and then we annoyed them for another year with the finished product. Uh, love every one of you. Like it's been
Thank you.
so fun to work on something like this, and while there are things that we can improve, we're going to improve them through having done something like this and just being able to enjoy it. But more importantly, I'm very proud of you for not only committing to a rather stupid project, but also like not necessarily using it as a springboard, but like springboarding past that and bettering yourself, but still looking
Of
back
course.
on it fondly and not like oh, that was a waste of my fucking time kind of deal.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm just proud of you for actually being able to come up with the idea in the first place and allow me the opportunity to actually do this crazy, stupid thing. And not only that, but being gracious with not just your time, but your money as well. Obviously, it's no secret that, my financial means is not as is not as grand as yours. I'm not trying to talk you up or anything, but
I live
um,
in Colorado, man. Like we get it. We get more money, we spend more money. That's just how it
exactly.
works.
You had a bit more lucrative funding for this than I did, and it allowed me to do something absolutely insane that I don't think I'd ever be able to do on my own. Honestly, like you get, this was the exact push I needed to kind of get out and see more of the world, and not only that, but to kind of see how you vibe, and your element. I saw you in your natural element for probably the first time ever. Um, because the only other
Wow.
time I've ever seen you vibe is because the only other time I've ever seen you vibed in your own element is when you were in front of an iMac listening to synthwave in class next to me. That is the only other time
Okay.
we've actually
Okay, I see your point.
and
Yeah.
there are years gap there, okay? And
There was
you developed a lot as a
years,
person in that
a
time.
lot of shit happened, man. A lot of shit
Yeah.
happened. I don't have any amount of time to talk about it more, but like, holy shit, you're
Like
right.
seeing you in your element was just a pleasant to see, and made me realize how lucky I am to have a friend like you to
Aw.
to have be able to have stupid ideas as equally as stupid as mine, but also be able to match my energy. You know how
Yes.
difficult that is to match my energy. Granted, like you and not only were you able to match my energy, but you were able to call it out in such a way where it was able to reel itself back in.
It's a hard thing to do sometimes,
It
but
is.
it's also a lot harder to accept it because like sometimes it just comes off as being like mean.
But the thing is,
or
I've
judgmental.
always. But the thing is, the delivery of it, you know, because a lot of it's the delivery, and you know how to deliver a message like that.
Yeah, I
And
just wish I could do that during a fucking video while also holding attention.
I think this is a good starting point, though.
I
think this
agree.
this shows that you obviously do have you obviously know what to do. You know what steps to do to get a video like this out there, and now it can only go up from here if you ever do something like this again. If we ever get around doing a video like this, it will only get better.
I
will
hope.
only get more
I
views.
fucking
You
hope
will
it gets
o-
better,
you
or
will
else
only
we
get
are
more
so
views.
screwed.
We're not screwed, okay? Listen,
No.
it's only going to go up from here. And I know that from just being in the business of being online for a long time, you know. It's very rare that a project just falls flat dead. You know, at minimum, you're going to have at least an 85 to 100% retention viewership from this video to our next one. You know that for a fact.
Yeah, I think you're right. But
It's not I think, it's I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
all right, damn. All right, yeah, you're right. Girl, you're
All
right.
right, we got this.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All we need
That's-
is just to sit down and agree on something.
I think
That's
hipster
the
videos
problem.
I think hipster is our best one so far.
Yeah, because like I could see that as like I could see doing research on that and being comfortable with presenting a video.
Well, not only that, we would have a story to tell.
I would, the furry thing I'm not. Okay, the furry thing I'm willing to help you with because you're right. There is some interest there.
There you go. There it is again. You did that with soda too.
Oh shit. Yeah, I see your problem.
Exactly.
I was gonna say like, hey, like let's put everything we would normally put into it for video flux, but like, you know what? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. That's all I can say right now because I don't really. Dude, it's been like 4.5 hours. I don't have a fucking brain right now. I don't have a goddamn brain for furry shit right now.
I don't know how long the edit for this post-mortem is going to be, but if you manage to get through it, good. I salute you, sirs and madams. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a lovely time. Maybe we'll revisit this video, maybe we'll make it a yearly thing. Maybe we won't. I doubt we'll be able to revisit this anytime soon. But if there's like a bunch of questions or anything that wasn't addressed,
true,
leave it in the comment description below. Maybe we'll do a follow-up in a live stream of some sort. I've always wanted to do a podcast, so that could be material for a podcast. So, yeah. I don't know if this yeah, that's all I've got. I'm Jayden.
And I'm James. And once again, I appreciate everybody who not only watches these videos, but also listens to us. I've told this before, but like listens to us about our crazy, wacky ideas that occasionally will make into things. So
wowzers.
Thank you all for watching, but more importantly, Jayden, thank you for joining me on this this annual walk down memory lane of something that was really dumb, but we did it anyway.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat some food.
Yeah, same.
Bye.
Bye.